Live from Deathray Studios in the sunny West Valley of Phoenix, it's Late Night with the Davey. Appearing on tonight's show, YouTube content creator, FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Davey Deathray. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here, back with another edition of Late Night with the Davey. How y'all doing? It's been one hell of an awesome day here so far. Yeah, I mean, if you guys were hopping on the socials or anything like that, you saw that we have unlocked membership here at the Deathray channel. That's really, really cool. Couldn't have done it without you guys. You all are just amazing. The support has been absolutely incredible. Love you guys so much. And yeah, you know, it's tough. Sometimes you compare yourself to other creators, or you see other people that maybe started their channels earlier and have found more success. But it's really one of those things where it's like, you just can't do it. You can't compare yourself. You have to find your own way. And I'm really happy that we cultivated something really great. You know, myself and everyone here in the chat, you guys are just totally awesome. I'm, you know, starting a YouTube channel is one of the, I don't know, one of the big moments in my adult life. Absolutely. And, you know, really pumped that you guys have been there, you know, and been supportive. Like, we got my guys from Twisted Locker out in Wales, became one of our very first YouTube channel members here at the Davey Deathray channel. I know that Happy Sanjo here saying what's up is also a member as well. I don't know why it doesn't show me your membership there, Koi. But yeah, just so much awesome support already. So I just want to say what's up to you guys. Before we bring in Kyle Curtis, I am super pumped to have him on the channel as well. I was over on FLETT'S channel a few weeks ago and we talked about our scariest moments in horror film, and I even threw some non-horror moments in there because they still scared the shit out of me as a kid. So really excited to have him on, have you guys get to know him a bit, and then we'll hang out and we'll do a little, not necessarily an unboxing, but a subscriber mail. Eli Cortez came through with another very generous package that he sent over. So I'm really excited to show that off to you guys, and we'll get to that here after our guests. So let's say what's up to everyone in the chat. We got Big Rod saying, why is 7 taking so long to get here? I know. But you know what, Big Rod? The few hours I have between work and starting the show, I feel it. You know, I'm doing chores around the house. I'm getting cleaned up so I can be pretty for you guys. I'm, you know, cramming it with maybe a couple things I want to get done for the channel really quick, you know, and of course I have to find some way to eat something so I don't act like a complete crazy animal during the show. So I know it takes a while to get there, but we're here, bud. We're here. Saying what's up. Hope you and Kate are beating the heat. Oh yeah, we were chatting earlier. Yeah, it's very hot here in the Phoenix area. It was 117 yesterday and 118 the day before. So it's been pretty brutal. What's happening, Eli? How are you doing, my guy? Saying what's up, Davey, and everyone. So pumped that you are here, Eli. And man, just really excited about doing the show tonight and showing off the goods. I was pretty moved by the generous gift you gave, Eli. So I'm really excited to share that. And of course, we have our Flame member, Happy Sanjo here. I did, you know, because I'm always telling you guys that you're the fuel for the channel. So I was like, all right, what should I name? I guess I could just name the levels 1, 2, and 3. But level 1 is kindling, because every fire needs some kindling as the foundation. And then the level 2 is fuel, and level 3 is flame. And Happy Sanjo in the 3rd level there. All right, everyone's saying what's up to each other. Your gift became a whole series. You're a legend, bro. Look out. I already feel so indebted to Eli, Big Rod. You have no idea. Yeah, and you guys are talking about here. Necro Mechanimal, what's happening, Necro? Great to see you in the chat. Trisha McMasters, one of our lovely patrons. Thank you so much, Trisha, for being a patron, and can't wait to sort of shift that over to YouTube membership. For a while, they're going to both exist, so don't worry. I'll be in touch with everyone over there on Patreon, and of course, whenever that switch is made, I'll make sure to be able to gift you guys some memberships over here. Nicholas McMath says, hey, Davey, how are you doing today, man? And there are 6 likes so far. Thank you so much for the like count, Nicholas McMath. I'm doing all right. It was a pretty chill day at work, and just really been looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Oh, and Big Rod just became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Big Rod. Really appreciate that, man. That is too awesome. That is too awesome. I was hoping it would get a little wild here during the stream. I was hoping we'd see some memberships come in. Their super chats are available. Not that I'm doing anything so great that you guys need to super chat me, but you know, it might just be kind of fun to do it because we haven't been able to do it. The channel's existed for over a year. We've been hanging out for a long time. It would be fun to celebrate at least one super chat, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Yeah. What's happening, Greg? Great to see you, man. It's been a while. I'm glad you are, you know, making an appearance here in the chat for Late Night with the Davey. Thank you so much. And we got Cody Snyder becoming a YouTube member as well. Thank you so much, Cody. Cody and I met at H45, same as Happy Sanjo and I. We all met at H45. We were hanging out. Actually, you know, if you caught Cody over on FLETT'S channel doing the commentary for Friday the 13th, the final chapter, you'll hear Cody telling us, or you know, telling everyone in the audience a really fun story about hanging out with Malik Akkad at H45, and we were all there. It was yeah, Coy, myself, Cody. And I know Darren and Frank from the Slaughtered Lamb were around, but I don't think they were in the circle at that moment. But yeah, thank you so much for becoming a member, Cody. I can't wait to have you on at some point, talk some Tales from the Crypt, talk some, you know, anything you want, really. Anything, Cody. And we got Brooke Scarlett in the chat. What's happening, Brooke? Great to see you. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Cody's celebrating in the chat. I love it. We got Fachi in the chat as well. Davey, the love of my life. What's shaking? Hey, just shaking and moving over here on the channel, Matt. Great to see you popping in here, man. Matt's been killing it over on his channel, having a lot of fun with the lives, man. I think there's something about when Fachi hits a hot one on a live. It's just, there's nothing else like it. You know, it's really cool to see. Love it. And boom, there it is. Super chat from Cody Snyder. He says, super chats, moving on up. I love it. I love it, Cody. Thank you so much, man. That's way too cool. You guys are amazing. Adulting sucks for real. I agree, Big Rod. I agree. You know all about it. Everyone's saying what's up to each other. How you doing, Cheesy Corn Pop? Great to see ya. Great to see ya. Did I use gel in my hair? No, I got a haircut yesterday because I interviewed Ron Sloan, who played Junior in Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. And I wanted to look a little handsome for Ron. So I actually, guys, you know, true story. I have curly hair. You know, I know it's not that long. You can't really tell it's too curly. I don't shampoo. I gave up on shampooing about 15 years ago. And, you know, a few times I rinse my hair every day, and a few times a week I use conditioner, and that's it. So whenever I want to have control of my hair, like I want to be able to do that, I don't put conditioner in it. That's my trick. What's happening, Blu-ray? Great to see you. And what's up to everyone? Cody says, super chat this man. Antonis is in the chat. How you doing, Antonis? Great to see you. Cody says, traumatized by Malik in a good way. I thought he was so sweet. You know, people can get a little tipsy and be not so nice. And I felt like Malik was just basking in the fans' love for Michael. It was really cool. Watched a first-time family movie last night called Despicable Me 3. Have I seen it? No, I've not seen any of those. I've not seen any of them. We got Robert the Wolfman in the chat. What's happening? Ow, ow, Robert. How you doing, sir? We still need to figure out a time to get together. I know Kate and I are going to Megadeth tomorrow, so I don't know if you're going to Megadeth tomorrow, Robert, but if you are, we should hang out. I would imagine you're at least a Megadeth fan because, guys, if you don't know this about Robert, he has great taste in not only movies, but really good taste in music as well. And I don't say that about everyone because I can be kind of a bastard about musical taste. We got Frank's media and reviews in the chat. What's happening, Frank? Great to see ya. Frank was our guest last week. Had a lot of fun talking with him about, man, just physical media collecting, the pitfalls, the pros and the cons. Growing up as an 80s and 90s kid, it was great. It was awesome. Yeah, he was cool as hell. All right, guys. We are about 17 minutes past the hour. I usually bring the guest in here about 15 after. So I think we're all caught up here mostly, other than talking about my hair. Yeah, if you have curly hair, you're not supposed to use shampoo. That's something everyone with curly hair out there should know. It strips the natural oils out of your hair. So you just need to rinse. Yeah, Cody, it's going to be it's going to be my third time seeing Megadeth, Kate's second time seeing them, and she is so pumped. She comes from more of a, outlaw country, kind of like when she was growing up, and 90s country and all that kind of stuff, but then also, fell into hearing, growing up with bands like Red Hot Chili Peppers and White Stripes and all that kind of fun stuff. So, really wide array of musical taste, but I think, Megadeth and some of the edgier punk rock stuff is some of the music that I, sort of showed her a little bit more of, although I'm sure she heard that stuff before we met because she's pretty with it. Yeah. Shit out and shout out to Hangar 18. What a great song. What a great song. Yeah. Love that one. Sadly, I am not going. It's been a hectic week for Robert. We'll figure it out and get together. Yes, we will, sir. We can meet in the middle. We could figure, I'll definitely meet you since you're providing the mead. I will do the driving. How about that? Nicholas says there are 13 likes. All right, guys. We're all caught up, right? Trisha, it's so cool to see all the past guests in the chat. Yeah, that is really cool, Trisha. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I think that's one of the reasons, when I started doing the lives and started doing the collaborations and everything, like it really was like, I genuinely want to get to know these people. I want to build some relationships and, contribute to the community. Other than like, I love being in the chat on other people's channels, but starting my own channel, it's like, all right, well, what can I do for the community that goes beyond what I've been able to do? And it is very encouraging. I'm glad that you brought that up. I've seen so many past guests jump in here, and I know everyone is busy, right? So for you guys to spend a couple hours or a few hours with me is amazing. And even if you just jump in and say what's up because life is going on and you just want to say hi, like that's awesome too. So it is really cool. Absolutely. Yeah, Antonis, I don't think you're ever too old for family movies. If you like them, you like them. So who cares, right? All right, guys. Our guest, Kyle Curtis Flett from FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13. I'm super pumped to have Kyle Curtis on. He's been doing YouTube for a little bit, had a short hiatus this year, but he's back. He actually, when we were on live a few weeks ago talking about our scariest moments in horror, he hit the 500 sub mark while we were live. It was really cool. It was, not only awesome to be a guest on someone else's channel, but to have something so like pivotal, like a milestone get hit while being live. That was really cool. So super grateful to him for having me on the show, and I'm excited to let you guys get to know him a bit, and we'll talk about some horror here. So guys, without any further hold up, let's bring on our guy Kyle Curtis from FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13.
Hey,
what's happening, Kyle? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me here. Congrats if you're able to do memberships for your channel now, and congrats. Now this is your 13th episode for Late Night with the Davey. So congrats on that as well. It's been amazing to get to know you, man. You're a phenomenal content creator. So this is gonna be a fun tonight. You and me got to share amazing moment that I'll never forget on our channel when we for our first collab that I surpassed 500 subscribers.
Amazing.
So that was amazing. And so this is gonna be fun tonight, man, for sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it was funny. The other day I reached out to Kyle Curtis and I was like, it just dawned on me that you're the 13th episode and it says Pop Culture 13. And then Kyle, you're like, well, my birthday is on the 13th as well. That must be why you put the 13 in your channel name, right?
Well, that, and because I love John Carpenter's Salt on Precinct 13, so it's kind of homage to that as well, besides my birthday. So
that's cool because every so often you must get a birthday on a Friday the 13th.
Oh yes, I did last year too. It happened last year. So
That's awesome.
and
That's
I
awesome.
got to do a birthday stream right on that day too. So that was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite Friday the 13th film if you just had to pick one? Desert Island pick?
4.
That's a solid one.
Or it would have been 6, would have been the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 is great. I think to me it's like I think the reason why they're both number ones is because they're both really fun, but they're totally different kinds of movies. It's like part 4 is like the quintessential 80s slasher, and then part 6 is like a fun, it's not quite MTV, but it's really fun, and it also like has sort of a throwback to like the old Universal days, like all the lightning and
and 4 is everything that you love about Friday 13. All the right ingredients are in there. You got the right Jason, you got the perfect cast and the great setting, the kills, and it's everything and the amazing effects from Tom Savini got to kill his monster in that movie. So
absolutely, yeah. And Ted White as Jason is just perfect there. I love that he grunts in that movie. I think like Jason feels like he's still a real man in that. He's not a zombie yet. You know what I mean? So Ted really brings like a level of humanity to that movie that I think adds to the brutality for sure.
For sure. And with 6, like a homage to the Universal monster, especially Frankenstein, the way they brought back Jason. And it's the only Friday 13th movie that doesn't have nudity, and it showed you didn't need that to have a successful movie as well. And
that's true.
Tom McLaughlin was able to put hire the right people to help him make the movie and to put and have awesome scores in there too. And CJ Graham nailed the role in that one.
Yeah. I think Tom McLaughlin is a really interesting, unique guy. Like I love his approach that he's sort of looked at it from like a kid's perspective. He's finally getting to make this slasher movie, and he's like, but let's have fun with it. Let's make sure it's still fun. And part 6 is my favorite. It's really special to me. My wife and I watched it on our very first date, which was on a Friday the 13th. And then we ended up getting married on a Friday the 13th. So we're just all,
you're all horror there.
The horror culture has seeped into our lives. It's amazing how, growing up being into horror movies, I felt like I was always the one trying, like kind of forcing my friends to watch them and everything. And now we've got this community where people like you and I can get together with everyone, over there in the chat, and we can just nerd out about this thing that we love so much. How cool is that?
Yeah, for sure. Because I love films in general and filmmaking, and I love other genres. But there's something about the horror genre was the first thing I ever fell in love with, and especially, I was never afraid to watch them, even though there was. I always wanted to watch them, even though I shouldn't have. Even though I probably wasn't allowed, but I did it anyway. And it's just something about the horror movie and the community that we have. It's just something special that is just blessed to be a part of, and we all share the same passion. And horror fans are the best fans, I think. And something about the people that the stars that make these horror films, they take their time out to just to spend time with their fans and sign autographs and things. Where these other big films, and the other genres make these $1 million movies and can't take out their time and day to say and take an autograph and just be rude to their fans.
Yeah, well, and there is something really intimate, I think, about the horror community. It's just it's not as big as something like the Marvel universe. So there's like the ability for some of the stars in horror to lead like as close to normal lives as a celebrity could lead. So I think that there's also, they show that appreciation when they actually get to meet these people and they're like, this is incredible. For some of them, it may just be one movie they were in 40 years ago. And every year they get to go, to multiple cities and people line up to say, you changed my life, or you were my first crush, or whatever Cody Snyder says to all those actresses out there when he meets them and nuzzles up next to him.
Yeah, for sure. And the convention is the right platform to do that for your
Yeah.
fans. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when horror first started, there never was a con until they started doing them. The first one in the late '80s, and then
Yeah.
sometimes in the '90s. But it wasn't until like 2000s where it really blew up with that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, what's happening, Jamie? No worries about being late. Internet issues are the worst. And guys, Jamie is the only mod that we have. How cool is that? Give Jamie a little love there.
And Jamie's awesome. We love her.
Oh, she's so great. She's I see her in so many chats and she's seen every movie in the theater. So it's just reassuring to know that we've got somebody in our community that's seen every damn movie in the theater.
Yeah, we're gonna get there where we'll find a movie where she doesn't.
It'll happen. Yeah, only the ones that came out before she was born, because even when she was like 3 years old or whatever, she was going to see Jaws, or maybe it was Jaws 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie. So Kyle Curtis, what was, when you were a kid and you were growing up, what was was there like a gateway horror movie that you saw? Like for me, Jaws kind of like, I think warmed me up. And then by the time I saw the Halloween movies, I was like ready to go. Was there some sort of gateway movie, or was the first like introduction to horror a straight up slasher or horror film?
Ironically, it was The Exorcist, and that's a personal film for me.
Yeah.
The Exorcist, it doesn't, of course, it's still an amazing movie to this day, but when you watch it now, it doesn't have the same effect when you very first watched it. But it's still amazing movie. It's still groundbreaking. No holds barred what Freakin' was able to do. The Exorcist really was the first movie that really was the first horror movie I ever seen at all, and it was shocked me, and especially the themes they were doing in that movie, and what Freakin' was able to pull off with that movie. With the head spin, the spider walk, and with the crucifix scene, and just
that's a brutal scene.
Just to really push the boundaries back then, and it's definitely and the performances are amazing, and especially we have religious horror, but this to me was just an incredible movie, and you had to use priests. It felt so real, you know what I mean? And what the priest had to do just to get finally the demon out of Reagan, because I actually, believe it or not, in real life, I actually seen something happen to a girl the same way.
That's wild.
It is wild. So
how old were you? So the first time you saw The Exorcist, your introduction to horror, how old were you when you actually sat down? And did you like walk past and maybe older members of your family were watching it and you sat down, or was it like, I'm going to put this movie on and watch the whole thing, start to end?
No, it was on my auntie's shelf. Her stuff was just a wave of VHS horror movies, just like it was almost like Blockbuster in her basement. I seen this movie. Yeah, it was crazy. How she had this whole shelf was just horror. The Exorcist, I seen the poster, and the poster intrigued me because you see the priest standing outside with the shadows shining on him. That iconic poster, I was like, whoa, what is this? And I had to get my cousin to put it on and let it watch me, because my auntie didn't care if I did or not. And
so how old were you?
I was 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I saw that movie the first time I was like 16. I mean, I knew all about it, but I just, for whatever reason, just hadn't dove in at that, until then. But that's an intense movie to watch at 6 years old.
Oh, it was intense, but it was just engaging all the way, and really just never kept my face off the screen, and just the way it ends, you're like, is she all right? But is he still there? So, but it's because Freakin' was able to push the boundaries with that film that nobody ever seen till that point.
So, no, you're absolutely right, because it came out in 1973, right?
Yeah, 73, and I know the guy who directed another director was going to direct it, but he's like, "Oh no, you can't base the devil on a little girl, but freaking showed everybody wrong that you can."
Yeah.
Because and
Yeah.
I would never touch a Ouija board ever. That's not a thing I would never play with ever. There's a reason
Yeah,
for that.
no, that
So,
stuff is I had friends like, you know, in middle school that pulled one of those out, and that was the only time I've ever like actually seen one in real life. Aaron Click, what's happening? Aaron, welcome to the chat. He says The Exorcist scares me now as an adult and especially as a parent in a different way than it initially did when I was a kid. So that's really cool, Aaron, that it has, you know, it is kind of fun that when a movie sort of has like cycles of the way it affects you, right? And then as you change in life and you enter new chapters and you gain different perspective, you go back and you experience a piece of art, whether it's a book or a movie or even like a record, right? And then you start thinking about it differently than you ever did before. And that's like a really great segue into something that we were going to talk about tonight, Kyle Curtis, because, you know, you were saying The Exorcist is, you know, a horror movie that if you could rewatch for the very first time, if you could have that first time experience, you would also pick The Exorcist. So you want to go right back to the beginning. You want to experience the very first time of even watching horror at all, right?
Yeah, because there's just something about that feel for the first time watching it in your horror movie, especially The Exorcist, really touches you in so many ways, especially when you're a kid and just let your imagination run wild while watching this, and you're just like, "Oh, am I able to sleep after this and have nightmares?" And but yeah, and like I said, I actually knew a girl that happened something like this in real life. So
that's wild. And that's one of
nuts.
I mean, it is interesting with like, you know, when you read about real exorcisms and stuff like that, and you know, just the documentation is, you know, it's almost at this point where like something is, even if, you know, it can be difficult to prove if something supernatural is happening. That's a difficult thing to prove. But, you know, what's been proven is that these things that are, you know, that we can't quite explain have been documented, you know, similar to something like aliens, where it's like, we can't quite figure out what is going on, but there's something that's going on that is not measurable by us. And I think that's why films like The Exorcist do really well. I mean, even we had that big resurgence in the 2010s, you know, the James Wan and Lee Winnell movies, like the Conjuring series and Insidious and all of that. Like those feel, even something like Sinister, you know, kind of dives into that, you know, it sort of touches some of those areas. I mean, especially The Conjuring, those movies definitely feel like they've got that Exorcist vibe. Are you a fan of movies? I mean, I see the Evil Dead box behind you, so I would imagine you're also a fan of demonic possession that has nothing to do with religion.
I see your Evil Dead poster behind you. So
I'm a bit of a fan. I'm a bit of a fan. It's true. I probably talk about it more than I even realize.
I talked about this movie yesterday when I recorded my my top 5 Sam Raimi films that I just uploaded today. And yes, I am a huge fan, especially the original Evil Dead. I do love Evil Dead 2. That is definitely is the fan favorite, it is a bigger budget and stuff. But there's just something about that low budget, dark, gritty, something about the Evil Dead that's just crazy the direction that it goes. But I do love Evil Dead too, don't get me wrong.
I mean, I love them all, but
I love them all too. But I prefer the more dark versions of the Evil Dead.
Yeah, everyone in the chat that's hung around for a while knows that the original is my favorite. And then I would say that Fede Alvarez's 2013 film is my second, because they're both more serious. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I like when they really push it. I felt like, how did you feel about Rise?
Rise? I think Rise, there's still some amazing gory moments in there, and I thought the mom's performance was phenomenal, but it didn't come close to the level what Fede Alvarez did with 2013. I still enjoyed Rise for what it was, but it still didn't touch the level of the craziness and the bonkerness that Evil Dead 2013 was able to pull off with Mia and her friends, and especially that nail gun scene.
That's, you know, there's something about that 2013 film, I think what it does so well, and one of the reasons why I have a lot of faith that Alien Romulus is going to be a really good entry in the Alien franchise, is like Fede Alvarez really knows Like he can watch something, he can experience a movie and be like, okay, I understand the DNA and I understand what makes that film that film. And so when he did the 2013 Evil Dead, I felt like it was just a higher budget version of the original in a sense.
Yeah.
Like they modernized it, but he was able to hit all those points. The, you know, that siren that goes off every time one of the Deadites sort of takes over. Those are some of my favorite moments in that film. And yeah, there's something about that darkness and that realness there
And
for
the
sure.
blood, and they used more blood in 23 than they did in Rise as well.
Yeah.
They really did. And there's some really just creepy scenes that just like,
Oh yeah.
whoa, they went there.
Yeah,
And
some of the stuff they say is actually similar to The Exorcist. Some of the lines that Mia says when she's a Deadite they're very, you can tell it's inspired by everything that, you know, Reagan was saying.
and even the beginning when the father tries to burn his daughter, and then she just goes
Oh,
off the rails and says all those
yep.
words to him and filthy words.
What an
to
opening.
Him. Yeah.
What an amazing like cold opening that is. Like that is one of the greats. Like that's a good thing. I'm glad you brought that up because everyone talks about the 2009 Friday the 13th remake opening, and for good reason, because it's a really damn good opening. But I think sometimes, and maybe it's just me, guys, let me know in the chat. Sometimes I forget when I think about Fede Alvarez's 2013, I think about Mia and her friends. And then I don't always remember like, oh yeah, and it's got one of the greatest openings in horror ever, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So Rise was decent. It just what for me was the mom's performance, I think, was the best part of the movie. And that's the first time they actually had kids there too. So that kind of really pushed it.
Yeah, I think Rise, like I wanted it to push things a little bit further.
But they didn't, they still were safe though. They kind of still
they were pretty safe. Yeah, they were pretty safe. And I think like one of the takeaways that I really enjoyed about that movie, because it's a theme you don't see very much of in films nowadays, is that it was almost like a movie about like motherhood. You know, it was like this woman that at the beginning of the movie, she finds out that she's pregnant. She doesn't know if she wants to keep this baby, what she's going to do or whatever. And then through being like a really good aunt and having this experience trying to save her family and ending up saving the little girl at the end, it was almost like by the end of the movie, she realizes like, I can do this. Like I can take on this task of being a parent. And I think it was a really well done to where they weren't like hitting you in the face with it or anything like that.
For sure. And that's why I'm happy that Fede Alvarez got the job for Alien Romans, because I think he's going to do amazing with that. So
he is. I think he's going to set it all straight. It looks like it's going to be a great film. And then I can't wait to see the next original thing he does. And you know what, Fede, if you want to come back to Evil Dead and do something, you're more than welcome, man. Like that would be incredible too, to see him do a little something here.
He did amazing with Don't Breathe Us too as well.
Yeah, Don't Breathe is great. Jane Levy is incredible. I know that she wants to come back to the Evil Dead franchise, and I think that she's one of the best characters. It would be amazing to see her come back. I could talk about Evil Dead all night. I could do it, people. We could do a 24-hour stream of me just talking about Evil Dead.
So I could too if you really wanted to.
And we got the Gervais podcast says, I remember being 6 when I first saw Halloween H2O. So Halloween H2O was Gervais podcast's Exorcist, same age. That's a good Halloween movie to see when you're 6 years old. I think that's a good one.
And it's not bad a Halloween movie to start off if that's your very first Halloween movie either. So
yeah, I agree. My first was part 2, but it was on television, so it was censored and all that. But it was that was my initial entry into the series there.
Mine was the original on television.
That's the way to go. I know it's weird the way USA Network played it. I watched the second one and then they played the first one after. And I have no idea why they did that with TV schedules, but they did it. Raymond Malaber says, I didn't see a horror movie till I was 15. I was too scared. A radio ad for The Gate scared the shit out of me. Oh man. All right. Ooh. Well, what was the first one you saw, Raymond, when you were 15? Which one was it? And Medley Man talking about, I mean, it's funny. I know that this chat's from a while back, but we just talked about Evil Dead 2013. He says the scariest movies to me are the most gory ones. I'm pretty desensitized. So is it all about Terrifier for you, Medley Man? Is that what it is? And then Fight the Good Fight says I saw Exorcist way too young and it messed with my child brain for a while, and now it's one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, it is an absolute classic.
And yeah, it is a class, especially when you just sit down and now just watch it now and it's just look at it and see how amazing filmmaking it did, and the scene where Father Karras gets thrown out the window because he still takes over and makes it no, and flies out the window.
Yeah,
was it while he's being possessed there?
And so, speaking of possession movies, or like I guess religious horror, have you seen? Did you see The First Omen and Immaculate from earlier this year?
I've seen The First Omen. I have, yeah.
I still need to see both of them, believe it or not. Actually, no one in the chat's surprised. They're all like, "What are you doing, Davey?" I think the First Omen's on Hulu. I've heard great things about both of them, and I think The First Omen is on Hulu. So I think I could check that out at any point. But you get caught up. I'm sure you know what this is like, Kyle Curtis. Like you end up like you're like, I have to work on this video. I have to put this thing together. I have to edit this thing. It gets tough to fit everything in that you want to fit in.
For sure, and for sure and then too, especially with how life is busy and it's hard to get to the theater to see all the movies that are coming out, and then I have to wait sometimes and after everyone else has. So, but I eventually get to watch them.
Yeah, no, and it is one of those things where it's like, oh, there's so many great channels that review everything. I don't want to compete with everyone, but it's like if there's something like Longlegs, like when I went and saw Longlegs, I'm like, I absolutely want to do a review of this one for sure.
And hey, Brooke, saying hi, and hey everyone in the chat, you guys are all awesome being here.
And there's my dad in the chat. My dad, Michael A. Conway. We call him Homer, so he's got the most adorable little icon there. My dad, Michael A. Conway, has become a YouTube member. All right, how about it, guys?
Donuts.
No. March, we're all out of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream.
And then donuts.
Yeah. Medley Man says Terrifier 3 is my most anticipated. Are you a fan of the Terrifier movies, Kyle Curtis?
I am, for what they are. I am.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the second one. I didn't really like the first one. To me, it was hardly a movie, but yeah.
Yeah, I think two had a better story, like for character development wise.
Yeah.
For me, what intrigues me is when David Halforton took over the role of Art the Clown and was able to take that character to the next level. Because there's one thing to scare someone and talk, but just to sit there and use your face expressions just to make someone feel uncomfortable across the room, and what he does, and then also be funny at the same time with those glasses scenes.
Yeah.
And be scary at the same time. David does an amazing job with it.
I
think the first Terrifier is remembered for that famous kill that they do in that movie, which is bonkers. The second one, I think they really were able to create a great character with the sister and the brother, and with the development of those characters. That's why they need that 2-hour mark to be able to do that. And
2 hours 25 minutes or something like that. It's very long.
It is very long. So some movies benefits from that. Some movies don't. It just all depends how you want to tell your story. And I think two need really to development those characters in a small amount of time. That's why they did the 2 hours. That's why I know it is long, but does it feel like 2 hours? It actually goes fast after a while after you're watching it.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, in my review, I was like, I'll tell you what, this might be 2 hours 20 minutes, but it didn't feel as long as the first one. The first one was just it was excruciating, not in a good way. The second one was like a lot more fun, and like I think David Howard Thornton in both movies, I think he's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with his performance. But certainly, exactly what you're saying. The second movie, it's all about the story just getting so much better, more of a traditional kind of slasher story,
Yeah, and at the same time, he was able to still put some awesome makeup, practical effects in there. And I was like, okay, how are they going to do a kill that comes so close to the kill they did in the first one? And they did that. And then they did that bedroom scene that just keeps going. And just with that, I was like, geez, they're making her suffer.
And and it's so funny because the bedroom scene is pretty intense, but there was something about the second movie that just seemed more fun. And I know that sounds like really twisted. But I actually think the kills in the first movie, to me, they were just more upsetting. Because the film just wasn't as much fun. I don't know. I know it's a difficult thing to explain. I probably sound like a total idiot.
No, I get what you're saying. I do understand because I was the same way when I first watched it. But I always love where a slasher, while tells a great story, was able to push the limits and not just hold back and just do what they want. And that's what Terrifier did. And that's what Leone did. I know he didn't have a really good story like in development characters, but he was able to get Art the Clown out there, because Art the Clown started off with that All Hallows Eve, which is still a good movie, and then props to the actor that played Art the Clown in that movie. But there was this David Howard Fortin was able to just push him out into the light and able to push the level higher for sure.
Yeah, and they took the second movie. I think they took things more seriously. They're like, we're gonna write like this is gonna be the next level. Like we're gonna make sure this one's better. And I think the third one will be the best one. I think it has the potential to be the best one. And of course, like what you had just said, it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that space being filled in horror. Like it's totally okay for there should always be somebody pushing, you know, the boundaries in a genre, no matter what the genre is. And there's always, especially in horror, there's always somebody there for that, right? Like you could have the craziest movie and you're going to have your group of fans. And of course, if you've been to any cons, I've been to a handful lately, there are hardcore Terrifier fans. You would think that the franchise was like 20 or 30 years old with how much people love the franchise.
And it only came out in 2016, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's only been 2 full movies, right? So it's like, but people are like, move over Freddy, move over Ghostface, you know, see you later, Jason. When are you guys ever going to have movies?
And you know, but if you're just there just to do for the kills, then you're going to do the story disservice. That's why I like that's why I liked One Hostel. It wasn't just about the traps. It was about these characters, and they were able to make a good story while doing the traps. That's what Hostel is a good example of that.
I think that's really important too, that you have, that all the elements of storytelling are still there. This isn't just a showcase for kills. Like there should be, at the very least, the movie should be fun and quick. And if it's not going to be fun and quick, then it should be, layered and dense with a bunch of meat on the bone. Now I wanted to bring up a couple chats here that came out earlier. Oh, I totally missed it. Dang it. Medley Man said earlier, he said, what does our guest tonight think about Halloween Ends? And I'm trying to find the chat. Let me see if I can bring it. But what do you think about, oh, here we go. There it is. Whoo, crisis averted, people. It's going to be okay. Medley Man wants to know, Kyle Curtis, what do you think of Halloween Ends?
Well, all right. Halloween Ends. I wish they introduced the Corey character sooner, because I think Roland Campbell did an amazing job with Corey. I like the relationship with him and Allison, but I did not like, because this franchise is so personal to me. I don't like how they handled Myers, and he made him the way he is. I know he's supposed to be over that movie, but still, this is Michael Myers we're talking about here, not just anyone else. And the way they handled it, I wish the fight, I wish it wasn't so easily. I know he was more older and hurt, and that's why Laurie was able to overpower him. And I do like this. I do like the Christine reference and Easter eggs in there. It's just to me, I do like Christopher Nelson's Ends mask. He always nailed it with the mask throughout the main trilogy. But it's just Ends. It definitely is the weakest out of the three, in my opinion. There is still stuff I enjoy in there, but there was stuff that weren't needed in Ends, I thought.
Yeah.
And we didn't need that extra meat grinding scene. I'm just like, okay, you could have just killed him, but like let him bleed out. But I just thought that fight was so quick to me. I wanted to see a little bit more.
Gotcha. Well, and I was like, at the time of that, I'm like, I would have been totally okay if Michael was already dead and this was Corey fighting Laurie. I would have been, and you don't kill off Corey. Maybe you let Corey really take over. But to kill Corey, I was like, oh no, because I really enjoyed the film.
Just let him just kill himself.
Certainly, certainly has its problems, right? I mean,
it still has
every
its problems.
film
There's
does.
stuff that just doesn't make any sense. And well, how does the lady survive with the light bulb going to her neck? It's not possible.
That
You
was
know what I
pretty
mean?
hardcore, yeah. Well, and it is interesting. It's like in the first film, Michael is more of a
I
real
just
man, and
think it
then
was just a lazy, cheap way to end the trilogy. I thought, even though there's stuff
yeah,
in there,
I
get
think
it.
that yeah, and I think that they had, maybe they had a story figured out. It kind of got derailed when COVID hit. I don't know. But yeah, I think Ends, I've heard Dave McRae say it. I think Ends would have been the story from Ends would have been better as the next movie,
Yeah,
end the Michael story and then tell a story where somebody takes the mantle from him. And I think
I
that's,
agree.
I
I
agree
agree
with
with it.
that.
I agree with Dave 100%.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of stuff I still love in Ends, and it has grown on me, but it
Yeah.
still has its problems and is the weakest out of the trilogy because of those problems.
Yeah, it is definitely, it is unique. And Medley wants to know what my dad thinks about Halloween Ends. I don't know. Dad, have you seen Halloween Ends? It's fun talking to my dad through the chat. I know I think I watched 2018 with my parents. That was fun. My mom was like covering her eyes for half of the time. Let's see here. Fight the Good Fight says I'm on the fence with Terrifier. Oh, that's from a while back. Let's see here. Did not like Ends at all. No excuses.
Well, Michael went out so weak, and she should have earned it, and not just just do it how it ends. I don't mind him pulling them off, but just do it the proper way.
Well, and it's funny because Halloween Ends and Evil Dead Rise end in the same kind of way, right? Like there's the wood chipper in Evil Dead Rise in the basement, and that was what, like 8 months after Halloween Ends, something like that,
For sure. And I think too, this was Andy Matichek's best performance as Allison, because she just kept getting better as each movie went along. I think her best acting was in the third one.
I agree. I've said that before here on streams and everything. That's one of the reasons why I love Ends, is because I think the performances are really good. Like you said, Rowan Campbell is great. I think Andy not only puts in her best, but I feel like her and Laurie really do feel related. Like they actually behave in similar ways. And I'm like, oh, she got to learn from Jamie Lee Curtis throughout these 3 movies. Like what a cool gift as an actress, like to get to work with somebody like that and get to become better. I love seeing that. We got another super chat. Holy cow. Necro Mechanimal says start, bench, cut, most anticipated 2024 release, Cuckoo, Terrifier 3, Nosferatu. Do you know how to play start, bench, cut, Kyle Curtis? Do you know what it means?
Yeah, I think you told me on my stream the other day.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So you go first.
Just for the start.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, these are really good choices where I really want to put this.
Yeah.
Okay. Start with Terrifier 3, bench Nosferatu, and then bench Cuckoo.
Or cut Cuckoo?
Yeah. Wait. Bench. Yeah. Cut.
Yeah, because you have to pick. Yeah, you get one each. Yeah.
I think.
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't know, because I could either start Nosferatu and Terrifier 3. I could go either way with both ones, but I would cut Cuckoo. Because I'm so anticipated for Terrifier 3 and Nosferatu, so it can go either way for me for those.
Yeah.
Start Terrifier, but I can also start Nosferatu and then bench both of them. But
this is a tough one. I don't know, because I've not seen anything about Cuckoo. I mean, I've heard people say nice things. I haven't seen any trailers. Yeah, so I don't know anything about it. I have no hype on it, because
that's why I'm cutting Cuckoo right now. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah. And then, man, Terrifier 3 and Nosferatu, that's a really tough one.
There's both anticipated movies of mine here.
Yeah, I love Robert Eggers, but I think I'm more excited for Terrifier 3 because I didn't like the first one. I liked the second one, and I really do have this feeling that it's going to be like Goldilocks for me, where like the third one's going to be just right. So I would start Terrifier 3. I'm going to bench Nosferatu, and I'll cut Cuckoo, only because I don't know much or anything about Cuckoo.
Yeah, I'll start Terrifier 3 and binged Nosferatu as well.
All
You
right.
know, that's gonna be
We're right
amazing.
there.
Yeah, I think we're the same. Because
Yeah.
you get to see it's around Christmas time too, which is awesome. And they're actually cutting a trailer right now, so the official trailer is coming soon. So it won't be just that teaser that was disjointed.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
so
even
get
know
to,
if I need to see more. I'm
I
just
don't
sort
think
of
so.
like,
I already know what they're gonna push in that. That's what's
yeah, and I've sort of like reached this point in my life where I'm like, you know what? Once I know that I want to see the movie, I'm done watching trailers because all the trailer at best, the trailer is gonna like make me more excited, but show me more. So I'm
yeah, and
not
then
gonna have
get you
as much of
hype,
a
and then
surprise.
then you would just go down as you see the
Yeah.
trailer. It's just like,
And then at worst, like, what if they blow big moments? And I'm just like, oh shoot. Or for a comedy movie, what if they like blow too many jokes?
and
You know,
especially
I'm
when you
just
see
sort of like,
it's just like how
yeah.
in Kill is to basically show the whole entire fire the firefighter scene, and when you got to move, it was like exactly how you
Oh
see it in
yeah.
the trailer. So
Yeah. 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 And sometimes it's okay, but I think I've just reached that point where I'm like, you know what? Like once I know I want to see it, like that's it, you know?
yeah,
We got Tyler Adams in the chat. What's happening? Tyler says just watched Evil Dead Rise. Came from a different stream. Yeah, we were just talking about that, and that was is that the Haunted Hippie? She was doing a watch party for that. I got to get her on the channel. I'm all booked. Late Night with the Davey is booked all the way through September, guys. How cool is that? I mean, it's cool for me to not have to think about it and start thinking about who I'm gonna look for in October. But yeah, I really enjoy her content and should reach out for sure.
Yeah, phenomenal content creator for sure.
Oh yeah, she's super fun. I like her. You know, some people are just like so themselves that I there's something about that I really appreciate, you know.
And that's what you
Aaron
get from me. Everything honestly, what you see is
Yeah.
just genuine. I'm not no fake
Yeah.
any people. It's all honest stuff what I do. So
Yeah, and I'm not as genuine and honest as Kyle Curtis. I put a little bit of syrup on it. I do, you know, you got to do that radio voice. No, I'm just joking. Aaron Click says I'd go in the opposite order. Aaron Click would start Cuckoo, bench Nosferatu, and cut Terrifier 3.
Nothing wrong with that. I respect that.
So I need to see an ad for Cuckoo because I know nothing about it. Like I don't know who's in it. I haven't seen one preview. So that tells me, Aaron, that I need to check that out. Raymond Malaber says start Terrifier 3, bench Cuckoo, cut Nosferatu. Too familiar? I wondered with Nosferatu, is it like, having somebody like Robert Eggers do something that we've seen before? What do you think about that, Kyle Curtis? Because all of his other movies have been so original and so like pretty avant-garde, kind of like jazz. But now he's making Nosferatu. What do you think?
Which came out like, geez, way back in the
20s, 22, and then they remade
22.
it. I think Werner Herzog did a version in the 70s.
Which I never seen that version. So
yeah, and apparently that one's really good too.
Well, yeah, I loved Robert Eggers ever since I seen The Witch. I was like, there's amazing filmmaker here and a great storyteller. And then I seen The Lighthouse, and it worked in black and white. I don't think it would have worked in color the way he was trying to pull it off. And of course, I seen The Northman, of course, which was just amazing. All I'm worried about, so since he's doing something that's like more like a remake, as long as he's able to make it his own, but able to still be Nosferatu and tell the story in a way and not just be some cheap remake that's just going to not do anything justice. Looking at U-Cycle remake.
I think he's going to bring some sort of like rawness to it I think it is what he does so well is he really puts you there. Like he creates that world and plops you right in. So people don't talk like they talk now. Like, they make sure they write the scripts in the perfect way. And there is something really special.
It'll be his sinister style, but it won't be like we won't see the same thing like we've seen with the original Nosferatu, but at least still be Nosferatu. And I think he's a great and I think he's going to do just. And I love that the fact that we're not really seeing too much Nosferatu himself in the trailer, and I hope it stays that way until we see him in the movie.
Yeah. I don't want to see him until the movie. If there's another trailer, I'm not even watching it because you don't have to convince me. Like you've got all you have to say is Robert Eggers, Willem Dafoe, and I'm there. You have my ticket.
That's right, for sure. And Willem Dafoe has collabed with him since Lighthouse. So
yeah, no, it's really looking forward to that one. Let's see here. I love this from Medley Man. You dare skip over my explanation as to why Halloween Ends is good? Shakes fist angrily. All right, Medley Man, let's go and see. Let's go check it out, Kyle Curtis. We'll go together. We'll just walk on over here. Okay. He says Michael spared Corey because he shared his unique eyes, and that was the only way he could still look at his own eyes in his silly mind, because his special window was broken when his house was destroyed. Okay. So Medley Man has really, this is some thought you've put into this one, right? So the whole idea of in Kills, how he's obsessed with looking outside of Judith's window, and that's what he sees in Corey. Whatever he saw out the window is what he sees in Corey, right? And then he goes on to say, also the line, the more Michael kills, the more he transcends, doesn't mean he's literally getting stronger. It means his toxic legend is becoming more ingrained. Okay. He transcends to something that just poisons the town. Okay.
That's an awesome way to look at it.
Yeah. And you know what? I have not thought about it. I guess I didn't draw those conclusions, but it is interesting to look at film as like literature, and to examine it the way that you would examine like a classic novel, and there is something really cool you're saying there, Medley Man, about him looking out the window, because I always wondered what that really meant in Halloween Kills. And maybe I just totally missed that in Ends, that Michael's just looking for some sort of way to look into his own soul. Interesting. And oh my gosh, we got Gilly W is back. Gilly was on our last stream. We did a live watch party of the first Tales from the Crypt episode, and Gilly jumped in. So she's a newcomer. Everyone make her feel welcome in the chat. This is awesome seeing people come back. I love it.
Welcome, Gilly. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, hell yeah. Raymond's already saying what's up. Tyler says, I think the Beetlejuice 2 is showing too much in promotion. Yep. I can't resist it, though. Take my internet from me. Yeah, I saw the last trailer, and I thought it gave away a little bit too much, but I'm not going to watch it again, so I'll probably forget the jokes.
I just seen the first trailer, and that was good enough for me.
Yeah, the first trailer was good enough. I already wanted to see it. Yeah.
Yep.
Necro's right. They shouldn't have killing Corey. I think if you keep Corey alive and you keep that doubt there, a lot of people that didn't like Ends would probably like it more, or they probably wouldn't be as mean about it. Right? I mean, that's a pretty big one, right, Kyle Curtis? When you think about Ends, if Corey had lived, do you think you would feel different about the film?
I think they could have kept him alive, and when they could have kept doing more stuff with Corey, because that was definitely an interesting character, and then they just killed him off. And I think they could have did more stuff with Rowan with future films if they really wanted to, but they killed him off. I was just like, okay, you just killed your awesome new character that we could have explored more.
Yeah. So you probably would like it more, like if Halloween Ends let him live and there was some sort of like this could go on. Do you think you would look back at the film and be like, all right, it's not as bad as I thought it was?
Well, I don't need that. That they actually, yes, they could have kept them alive, but the movie has grown on me. I've seen what they were trying to do with it. It has grown on me. It's not as bad, but I do understand why I didn't like it. It threw me off in the first place, and why other people were going crazy, hated over it. I do understand that, but because the internet went crazy when this movie came out, everyone was just fighting, and I seen that happen.
Oh my! It's one of the most divisive. Yeah, it's so divisive. There are people that are just like, "This is the worst movie ever," and then there are people like me. Yeah, to me, it's top 5. Like, I think it's top 5. And I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I know I had it way lower in my ranking when I did the Halloween Friday 13th Nightmare on Elm Street ranking, but that's just what I was thinking. But it has grown on me. Like I was like, okay, people, but calm down, respect each other's opinions. I'd like
Sure. Yeah.
to me, when it comes to my channel, I'm always going to respect each other's opinions because
Yeah.
we may disagree, but that's what makes the fun conversation. I'm
Yeah.
not going to jump on someone and kick them out just saying just because they hate a film that I like, or the other way around, I dislike and they like it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I respect that. I love that because I love that we can still have you know, a discussion and disagree, but we still respect each other's opinions. That's how it should be. But that's not how it's like on social media with a lot of other people. So
Yeah, it can be, and I think like Twitter is just one of those places where you don't really find like
so
really, thought out
since they weren't
discourse.
gonna continue it, they had to kill Corey off. So
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah, it's too bad. Then yeah, Aaron Click says I think the idea for him was to be a tragic character that couldn't really do the Michael thing full
yeah,
on.
100%.
So he had to die. Yeah.
Yeah, he's because he couldn't handle it. Then that's why he killed him. So he just couldn't handle it anymore. He was going
Yeah.
too dark place, like basically like Cunningham and Christine. That's how I saw it. Really, it's
Yeah.
like because he went too evil, and then he had to be died. Of course, it's
Yeah.
the same way.
It's sort of like this thing consumes him, yeah, especially in Christine.
So I really
Um,
understood why they killed Corey off at the Christine way. So
yeah, I guess you can't really have him going on. Can't do it.
no,
We got MAGA Cat in
Mega
the
Cat,
chat.
Mega
What's
Cat.
happening, MAGA Cat? We are sitting around talking about Halloween and Terrifier and Nosferatu and whatever pops up. We're chilling with Kyle Curtis from FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13. Guys, if you have a question or if you want to throw your own start bench cut out there, feel free to do so. And guys, we're also celebrating that membership was unlocked here at the channel today. And that also means super chats are unlocked and people have been having some fun with those. Those have been really cool to see. It's been a fun journey. And yeah, it's been, thanks for sharing the night here with me, Kyle Curtis. I really appreciate it. It's been really cool getting to meet so many people and hang out.
And thank you. If you guys want to know more, what else you want to know about me, go ahead and ask. I'm not afraid to answer it.
There it is. And yeah, of course, if you guys are not subbed over at FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13, there's a link in the description below. I think I put your Instagram in there as well, Kyle Curtis. So folks in the chat can go ahead and follow those links and support our guy here. Tons of great content. I mean, let's talk about your channel a little bit because we've just been kind of talking about movies. You've been having some really great interviews there on the channel. You just interviewed Kincaid from Dream Warriors and the Dream Master just the other day, right?
Yes, and the reason why I had the guys from Talking Shit on is because my original interview was supposed to be on Saturday, but Ken was out of town, so I had to move to Monday, and they had their interview on Monday with him as well. So, and this has never seen this done before with anyone. So we decided to team up together and do the interview together as a huge collab. And so Ken doesn't have to do so many interviews at one time. And Ken, I had some amazing interviews over the years, and everyone's been genuine. But Ken was the most genuine, honest, down-to-earth person I ever did talk to. And that's saying a lot because I had other amazing guests on that were genuine the same way. But I think he was the most genuine, down-to-earth person that you would just sit there and just have a conversation with. It wasn't just an interview. It was just an amazing conversation and hang out and have a good time. Mike Ken Sago's interview was awesome. Kincaid from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4, and he's also directing his new short film, Socrates, which is on Indiegogo right now. And wherever the money he raises, an investor is going to be double that. So,
hell yeah. Yeah, and he is so charismatic in those movies. I mean, that character is such a fun character from that franchise. So really cool that you landed that one. And when I hope I didn't miss it, but you've got an interview coming up with Demian Rugna, the director of When Evil Lurks.
Yes, that's coming this upcoming Monday at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, and then of course his time is Argentina time, so it'll be 2 p.m. for him. So 11 a.m. Mountain time. So that's gonna be a blast discussing. I think he's amazing director. What he was able to pull off. He did Terrify, which Terrify is amazing. I recommend that to anybody. But with What Evil Lurks, it's just right off the bat, it's a different take on the genre
Mhm.
that just goes right off the bat into to territory, no holds barred, bonkers of a film.
Yeah.
And what they were, and it starts off right from the beginning, and just they keep going there. And there's this, especially it has a eerie atmosphere tone that just makes you freak, especially when you get to a certain scene, you're already freaked out and creeped out, and
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
what is going on? And once they do that, it's just like, what else? Whoa, it's
Yeah.
jeez.
He is an incredible. I mean, I want to see that guy take on something like The Evil Dead. Or just his, another one of his projects, because he's so creative with the way he tells a story, and the way they shoot the film is, I thought, really creative as well. I was, you know, completely into it. The dueling cellos specifically and When Evil Lurks were great. And so are you guys going live for the interview, or are you
Yes,
just
I am.
interviewing?
It's live. It's live that
Oh
Monday.
my goodness.
All my
So
interviews are always
folks,
gonna be live usually. So
all right. So guys, you got to go sub over to FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13. He just broke 500 a few weeks ago. Let's see if we can get him as close to, where are you at right now, Kyle Curtis?
525.
Let's get him to 550 tonight. Let's see if we can do that, and set the notification for that Damien Rugna interview. You're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be really cool. When Evil Lurks was my favorite horror film of 2023
Well,
easily. And I didn't really see it coming. I knew it was gonna, like, I figured it was gonna be good. I didn't know it was gonna be that good.
for sure. And it came out the same time as Exorcist Believer. And I seen everybody talk about Exorcist Believer, but nobody was
Mhm.
talking about this film yet. And I'm like, until Darren from Slaughterland Movie Podcast mentioned it to everybody. And then that's when that started getting more recognition, thanks to him. And I
Yeah.
got to see it too. It came to my attention too. So that's why I saw it. And then that was way back when. And then just recently I watched it on Blu-ray when it came on Blu-ray. So
Yeah, I saw, I think it was a trailer. I don't know if I was watching trailers over at the horror show channel, because they do like a trailer reaction kind of thing. I think that's what it was. And I, like, right away, I'm like, oh my God, I have to see this. Like, this movie is right up my alley. Like, that is the kind of dread that I want to feel when I watch a horror movie. And something like Long Legs kind of captured a similar feeling, where you're just like that unease that you feel throughout the whole experience.
yeah, for sure, 100% agree with you.
All
And I
right,
see
so
some
we've got,
questions in the chat there.
yeah, we have a couple questions. So Aaron Click says, do you guys think the Blair Witch Project is one of the best scary movies? I'm the rare person who still finds it creepy and unsettling.
Well, that movie, what it's done for the genre, and I created a whole new genre entirely for the horror genre.
Mhm.
Because the marketing, I will say this, the marketing, say what you, if you like or dislike it, the marketing was genius. They used the pre-internet days, which I wish we could go back to, really. um, um, but without the social media, we all would not have met each other. So, and this platform of
It's true.
YouTube, but that's the
That's
best
true.
thing. That's the best thing to come out of social media. Is all of us meeting each
Absolutely.
other. But what Blair's Witch Project was able to do, they made it seem really real, that they've actually found a real life videotape of these three
Yeah.
that went missing and never made it back. And it still has some eerie setting moments, even though what's going
Hmm.
on at this point. It's still, I still think it's a genius film for what it was, and it created the found footage genre that other films that other people
Hmm.
are loving from the found footage genre. Not all of them, but the ones that are really beloved still. You know what I mean? And the way
Yeah.
it ends, it's just creepy, atmospheric, and it relies on the performances of the characters, because it really feels like you're really watching real conversations between these guys. It doesn't feel scripted at all. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now we know that were alive, but at the time people were like,
Hmm.
these guys really felt like a real live view, and they did like a documentary style version of it. And the shoot it, I think you can do amazing stuff from that perspective, from the view, if you do it right.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you can do amazing stuff. Not There's been some really poor executions, but there have been amazing executions. And that
Yeah.
camera style work, it just makes you feel like you're really part of it, like you're actually the one holding the camera while these guys are doing
Hmm.
their thing. That's what feels it. And Blair Witch Project is still a genius film after 25 years. Since what, 25? Was it 99 it came out 25
I
years
believe
ago?
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
25.
So
Yeah.
now I got to interview the
Yeah.
director, one of the directors of it. So in June.
That's way awesome. Yeah. And it's one of those movies that I was in high school when it came out. I saw it in the theater, Aaron. And what I think the Blair Witch Project does really well is that it sort of lulls you, you know, like you're following them on this camping trip and it just sort of makes you feel like nothing's going to happen, that kind of thing. And then, like, you know, you get those little beats where stuff gets really intense. And then, of course, yeah, the end is incredibly intense and just one of those, you know, you think about the end forever. You don't think about them just walking through the woods for most of the movie. When you wake up the next day, you're like, oh my God, the end of that movie was freaky.
And that's the movie you would love to have back for the very first time, because now that you watch it, it's just like it doesn't have the same impact as you first watch, but it's still unsettling. And just like Saw, I wish I could watch that in the very first film ever, because that twist I'd never seen coming at all.
Yeah,
I know a lot of other
that's a really good one. I really, you know, I might pick something like outside of the horror genre. I might do something like Fight Club. Like I might like want to rewatch Fight Club for the first time because it has a really good twist and such great performances, and it's so stylized. Like, you know, David Fincher just did a great job of bringing that novel to life. And I think that, like, I don't know why that one sticks out to me. But of course, if I'm picking horror, I would probably want to see something like the original Halloween again, or Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead.
Yeah. So I know there was a guilty pleasures question.
Yeah, Raymond Malabar says, does Kyle have a guilty pleasure movie so bad it's good?
Oh, there's so many of them, but I gotta say, because I know how bad it is, but it's Jason X.
Jason X.
That is a guilty pleasure. I know, no, it's not the greatest movie in the world, but but I can have fun with it, and it has my favorite kill in the franchise when he puts the liquid nitrogen kill into the liquid. He puts her head into the liquid nitrogen, takes it out, and just smashes it and throws her on the ground.
It's amazing.
And just the way Jason looked in Uber was just perfect, which we were going to get in the game, but that got thrown out the window once the lawsuit happened, unfortunately.
It's too bad.
Because there's too many egos in that direction. I think.
Yeah.
Too many great egos in that matter. And Jason X, it's a lot of fun. But I know there's a line in there that just makes me cringe when he says, he just wanted his machete back. Well, what does he want it for? He's not going to just use it as a nail cutter or whatever. He's going to kill you, dumbass.
Yeah, he just assumes. He's like, everything's fine. I got him his machete. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of guilty pleasures, but I think Jason X was definitely one of my guilty pleasures for me too.
That's a good pick. That is a solid pick for guilty pleasure. And Antonis would like to know, would you ever contact Brad Dourif?
Yes, I am working on that, you guys. I've been working on it a few months now, so I'm still working on that. I'm still working trying to get him on, and I'm working on it. So hopefully it will work out. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I've been working on the game Brad on this for a few months now. So hopefully,
so not only would you contact him, you are in the midst of putting it all together.
Putting it all together, and I'm also working on getting his daughter on too. So
that would be amazing. She's great too. She's really like it's Curse of Chucky, right? That's the one that she's in the house, right? Is that Curse of Chucky?
Yes, she's the one in the wheelchair.
She's really good. And then she played Charles in the TV show, right?
Yeah, well, I think she also played him in Cult as well when he takes over the body and she walks at the end. Oh,
I've only seen Cult. No, I've only seen Cult once, so I just must have completely forgotten that.
Yeah, she did play in the TV show, which I love the TV show, but it sounds like the TV show is canceled. So unfortunately, that's where it's aiming to, and that's where Chuck too. So
Chucky will be back. He will absolutely be back. He's an icon.
But either way, you guys, either way, Don Mancini, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Don Mancini.
Don Mancini is going to continue the story into a movie. So if it's looks like it's definitely going to be canceled, and I've been told it's going to be, um, that he's going to continue the story into the movie. So either way,
Okay.
we're going to see the story either way. So.
And that's the great thing about Child's Play is that Mancini has been in control for most of the time. You know, like that's a pretty unique thing within horror for the person that actually created the character to maintain that control. And really, it's just.
And I think it's been working out perfectly, because if he doesn't have no control, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and it's just like him and Sam Raimi. They're the only ones that like control their babies anymore. You know what I mean? Everyone else gets sold off. It's like Jason the rights are shared between like multiple people, and you know, it's just most of those, you know, Carpenter hasn't really been involved, or you know, for a big chunk of Halloween's life, he wasn't involved at all. You know, so it is really cool that guys like Mancini, he's pretty much held control. And same thing with Raimi with the Evil Dead.
Yeah, because I know Ken from Sledgehammer's been told it's been canceled. So, and that's how I first told, but other people were telling me, but they could potentially change their minds. But looks like it looks like that way for now anyway.
Yeah, that's, you know, we got a few good seasons of Ash versus Evil Dead, and then they canceled that one and didn't really get to like wrap it, you know, tie everything up. And I really enjoyed that show.
I would have loved to see the fourth season they were planning to get on. That's still one of the missed opportunities ever. It would have been more that Mad Max style, but with Evil Dead ingredients.
Yeah,
with Ash. And I would love to see more of his daughter, interact with his daughter. Ash's daughter would be cool.
Yeah, I really liked the side characters, worked really well for me. Pablo and Kelly, like I really love them in that show. Great performances. Lucy Lawless was really good in the Evil Dead show. And Necro Mechanimal says here you should ask, or he says, you should ask Rugna about Calle Casas, who directed The Coffee Table. He's another Spanish director who makes similar stuff, and they are friends. All right.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely ask that for you for sure.
Medley Man has not seen the Blair Witch Project, but always said the only solid forms of measurement on how good movies are numbers of things, and the more is better because you have more opinions. Yeah, vibes are biased, as I will never have the same as you. Yeah, I don't know if they're biased, but there's something that it's difficult to explain, that's for sure. Saw one teaser for Longlegs, said it's creepy, I'm in. Yeah, that's the way to go, Raymond. Don't watch anything else. Just watch it when it comes out. You'll have a way better time. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. So is Terrifier 3 your most anticipated for the rest of the year? Or is it Nosferatu?
It's Nosferatu, of course, Beetlejuice, but of course it's also Dave McRae and Bruce Dale's It's Me Billy Chapter 2.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating for that as well, to see how they conclude their story with it.
That's a big one for me too. I'm really looking forward, because I'm a huge Black Christmas fan.
I know it's a fan film, but to me, I know we're supposed to call it fan, and then why we have to call it fan film. But to me, I still see it as a film.
Yeah,
and it's independent filmmaking, and I think Dave and Bruce also pushed the bar for, especially with the cinematography, what they did in the first one.
My god, it looks amazing.
Amazing. So
yeah, and I think Chapter 2 looks like it fits with the Chapter 1, but I do think there's something about it that looks, you can tell they learned some things and they put it into action, because I think at least from the teaser that we saw, it's looking a little bit better. And we're getting what next? Let's see here. This coming Tuesday or something, they're dropping the full trailer, I think. I can't remember what day it is. I think
yes, they are, and I'm doing a reaction to that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I got one from Medley Man. That's how would you both rank the 6 main slasher franchises? So he wants us to rank Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Halloween, and Scream. Just the franchises as a whole, right? Okay.
I'll let you go first, Davey.
Okay, so I'm going to rank them Halloween, Friday the 13th, Scream, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw, and Child's Play. No, I'll do Child's Play, then Texas Chainsaw. I just pissed everyone off in the chat.
Oh,
it's tough. I'm just trying to do it quick, you know.
Mine's Halloween, Friday, Nightmare, Texas, Chucky, and then Scream.
All right. All right. A little bit of different flavors there. All right. I dig it. I dig it.
I love
Maggie
all these
Cat
franchises that they mentioned, though, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, they're all great. I just, you know, sometimes you just gotta, yeah. You know, we're just that way. Humans are just like, we want to rank everything. We want to compartmentalize every little thing there. I love this from Maggie Cat. I'm used to women stalking me. Oh, you guys are great. I'm just scrolling through the chat here, making sure I'm not missing anything. Let's see here. Maga wants more Dave Kruger, so I do too, Maga. I want to see Dave as Freddy in a full film. Everyone in the chat's having so much fun. This is great.
Yeah, I hear you, Raymond. That was definitely was a huge blow, and I can definitely tell it really hurt Dave and Bruce when that had to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they found a woman that looks so much like her. So really, it's just going to be about the performance. It would have been so special, to have her there, of course. And you know, it had to do with health, so it's like you got to put that in front of everything else. I totally get it, but I still think that, you know, having Lynn Griffin there from the original.
Oh, and it was Claire. Well,
yeah,
it's amazing, man.
And yeah, and just the feeling that they captured, like, to me, it feels like a true legacy sequel. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I'm an associate producer. I became an associate producer because I believed in those guys did so much that I was like, well, I'm going to get more involved with chapter 2 here. Dave, you know, because of how good.
Well, Dave is a phenomenal person in general. He's a talented voice actor, and he's talented at filmmaking as well. And he's a phenomenal content creator that we all love since he started doing it.
I mean, he's
Bruce
so
is
smart.
talented as well too in the filmmaking.
Yeah. Well, Dave is so smart about knowing what makes a story work. Yeah. And he can explain in depth what makes something either work for him and not work for him, which then when you sit down to write something, you're putting all of those skills into action. And yeah, I think Bruce, you know, especially coming from a little bit more of maybe the visual and technical side, at least to me, that's sort of what I gather is maybe Bruce is more of like the knows how to line everything up. Like he's a bit more on the visual side. And maybe I'm just assuming that because I don't hear Bruce talk very much. But yeah, Dave is absolutely brilliant. And yeah, we all dig his channel. Antonis asks, Kyle, what inspired you to interview actors and actresses? Well, and directors.
Well, because I always wanted a platform where I can just sit with them, interview them, and talk to them, just have amazing conversations with them. My especially the ones I grew up with that I love, that I always wanted to meet. And YouTube give me that thing to show my passion that I love talking about film, but also talk and hang out in conversations with the people that I love on screen that I grew up with. The reason why I love movies in the first place, every actor and actress and director that made my favorite movies of all time. And I got to interview them and have them on my channel and just make them feel comfortable and just have amazing conversations. Yes, it's an interview, but I still like to just have that intimate conversation and grow these friendships with them too. I have grown friendships with everyone I've been interviewed. It's not just because I just had them on interview. That's it. I don't do it for the clicks or the numbers. I do it for my passion and for talking to them and just talk about films in general and interview these amazing, talented people. I need to interview everybody because I think the stunt people are just important. Everybody is important in the filming industry. I try to get them on and even get to talk about the people that even bring on people that people don't even know about that did all these amazing stuff, and they get to know about these people and just have amazing conversations with them. And that's why I do it.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity to be able to like celebrate what you love about film with a creative person and also get to celebrate what they do.
And
Well,
you can tell when there's certain people that bring them on and they don't even care about the person they're talking about or the movie or like the films they talk about. They just do it just, oh, I have them on, and just to get the numbers and clicks and just to get people to watch your channel.
Sure.
There's certain people out there, but for me, and I know you don't do that either, and Good Will Hunting and these amazing people that we collab, and even Star Lab had Christopher Nilsson on, and that was an amazing guest. And I know, and we all do it because for our passion, and then that's why I do it, because I'm just like, this is giving me a platform to be able to talk to these people, because I can't meet everybody, my favorite people at cons, so this gives me a different way to meet these awesome people and love and talk to them with, and bring them on and get to know them even a little bit more better too. That I couldn't even figure out something I never knew about what they did on films and other films that they did I didn't know about. So
yeah, and to be able to like kind of spread the word on what they do. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Aaron says, what are some of your favorite underground, lesser known, under the radar bands? Are you a big music guy, Kyle Curtis?
Oh, I love music. And especially the 70s, 80s music. It's just why we love music in the first place. So those, I think that's still the high bar for music for sure.
All right.
I love music. Yeah.
For me, Aaron, I don't know if they're really underground because they do really well when they come out to the States, but I keep on talking about this band from New Zealand called the Beths. The Beths, like a girl's name, Beth, but there's more of them. They're one of the best bands I've heard in my entire life, and I just started listening to them like about a year ago, and they just dominate my playlists.
Well, I think even the Misfits are great, and they're still underground, and it's cool that their music got to be in front of the game, and even Crazy Licks, underground music. And there's this one underground band that play the Hometown Hero, called they're the Hometown Hero Questions, that they did that, had that #1 song, and they just went under the radar. No one knows about that band so much. The reason why I knew that music, it was in a certain video game that music was playing. It's called the Hometown Hero Questions.
Oh, okay.
So it's really good music.
And Aaron, I grew up listening to punk rock, so I guess a lot of the stuff is like relatively underground that I grew up listening to, but just stuff like NoFX and Face to Face and all that, kind of skate punky kind of stuff. And I really appreciate you with the sweet words there, Medley Man. I try to be grounded. What can you do? Did you guys see the Wayward Sisters, the Supernatural fan film? Raymond asks and says it was pretty good. I have not seen it. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen any episodes of Supernatural, so I'm like way out of the loop on the whole Supernatural thing. Everyone tells me I should watch it. Are you a fan, Kyle Curtis?
I was a fan when it was on. I just haven't seen the fan film. I haven't heard about this fan film. So I was a fan of it when it was on, though.
Yeah, and I think Chris Snyder from Movie Misfits was one of the associate producers, I think, on the film. Let's see here. Maga says, Davey is the man. You're too nice. Everyone's saying what's up to each other. Kyle, well, there we go. Fauci says Kyle is the man. So we have a Davey is the man. Kyle is the man.
Well, Fauci's the man too. Fauci's the man too. And I had a blast doing a collab with Fauci a couple of weeks ago. It hasn't been 2 years since we did a collab together. So it was a way overdue. So
yeah, I love Fauci. Love him to death. Medley Man says, take a wild guess on how much you think I understand music. Well, I would imagine if you like it as much as you like movies, then you probably understand it pretty well. And Raymond says, R.I.P. Charles Cyphers. Yeah, that's something we haven't mentioned here tonight, but he did pass away. I believe it was on Sunday, and it just wasn't reported until the next day. But yeah, Charles Cyphers passed away at 85 years old. We all know him as Brackett, and then he was in Assault on Precinct 13. He was in The Fog. He was in Major League, which is a movie that I grew up watching, a great comedy from the 80s with Charlie Sheen, especially if you like sports movies. Escape from New York. Yeah.
He wasn't that like very up there, but he still was a good actor for what he did. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
for
he's in
part.
so many movies that that we all love. And I think that's a really cool thing about it's not even just like, I think everyone that contributes as a performer is worth celebrating. So it's
For
not,
sure.
not just the big stars, but the people that were, they're doing, making it all happen. Like who would have been our bracket if it weren't Charles Cyphers,
And for sure, and I love the fact that my favorite werewolf movie of all time, American Werewolf of London, was
Mhm.
Darren and Frank's favorite, and I was able to bring them together and
Oh yeah.
create the Star Lamb together. And those two are
Yeah.
two genuine, honest, awesome guys. I love their best and worst
Oh
episodes. I
yeah.
love all their content that they do, and they're just amazing dudes. It's amazing how those two came together, and I'm blessed to be friends with them, and they're phenomenal content creators.
Oh my God, they're amazing. Yeah,
They're
the Slaughtered
awesome.
Lamb guys have been so supportive and sweet. That's probably how a bunch of people here in the chat,
They are
found their
sweet.
way over here. And yeah, I think the best and worst is a really good, like, they found their hook, like you got to have like your own kind of unique way of looking at things and approaching things as a content creator. And they definitely found that in a big way. I love their content, and I love they're back and forth, they're not the same kind of personality, so they bounce off each other really well.
And that's what makes it work too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we got more music talk in the chat. This is fun. I know these bands, MAGA. I'm picking up what you're putting down there.
Yeah, I clicking in what they're saying in there. You guys make sorry, David.
No, go ahead. You go. You're the guest.
I was just gonna say these guys make the stream fun as very well. You guys are just important.
It's amazing. We have 16 people hanging out watching right now. You guys are awesome for spending some time with us here late, especially if you're on the East Coast, late Wednesday night. Antonis asked, what band is better, Black Sabbath or Guns N' Roses? I like Guns N' Roses more, but I'm also more familiar with their catalog. So if I knew more Black Sabbath, I may feel differently.
I love both. I can't choose between the two because I love both for certain songs because they're both great.
Yeah, no, I mean they're both great. Yeah, that's a good question, Antonis.
And then Black Sabbath introduced me to Ozzy. So
yeah. Raymond asks, who was he in Major League? I love that movie. Charles Cyphers was like so there was like the woman that owned the team that wanted to run the team into the ground, and Charles Cyphers was like the general manager or one of her underlings, but he was still like had a high ranking on the team. By the way, Davey, the Amel and the Sniffers show the other day was amazing. Probably in my top 5 best concerts I've been to. Hell yeah, Aaron. And we got Toronto Freddy in the house. Oh, Davey Deathray and FLETT'S. That's a good nickname.
Hey, Tron
right
Freddy.
there.
I met Tron Freddy 3 years ago when James Grimm was doing his streams with Austin and Trevor. So I remember Tron Freddy being in that chat. That's how I first met him. So
has he been calling you FLETT'S for a while then?
I can't remember, but that's the first time. I think that's the first time I'm him saying that. So
he's a good He comes up with the nicknames because I think Toronto Freddy gave my wife the name Thrill Kill Kate. Fun little nickname there for her. And Toronto Freddy says GNR. He picks GNR over Black Sabbath. So there we go.
Awesome.
Craziest show I've ever been to. Oh, was it Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies? I would imagine, MAGA. That would be a dangerous, wild show to be at. Nicholas says Black Sabbath. All right. We got some. Gilly says, got to chime in on this one. My dad is a band member and music teacher. All right, Gilly, what you got? So Gilly says, love Guns N' Roses. Black Sabbath might be better musicians.
I agree with that.
It is a tough pick because they're different styles of music, and they're both rock and roll, but different corners of the genre. I don't think there's a wrong answer picking between Black Sabbath and Guns N' Roses.
It's hard to choose because they're both great and differently. Because they're songs I love both. So.
Yeah, Aaron says Black Sabbath. At least they're not jerks. Well, I think Axl was the only one that was like a real problem in Guns N' Roses, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Big Rod said, I'd rather listen to Guns N' Roses, but Sabbath was more influential. That's definitely, I think that's true.
And Ozzy loves his fans because now him and Sharon are doing cons now, and he's Sean Clark's client. So
yeah, I saw Sean hanging out at his house. I saw a picture today where he's been doing like
that
private
look he gives,
signings.
and Ozzy's got his hands around. He's like,
what a life, everything, you know. It would just be like, I would love to interview Sean just about all the people he's talked to and hung out with and represented. It's just, what an amazing career that guy's had.
I already had Sean on for an interview, and I also had him on when we talked about our 10 horror scores and horror.
Well, there you go.
Music scores.
Hey guys, maybe I can get him on Late Night with the Davey. Maybe we can reel Sean Clark in. We'll see. We'll see.
I think
and then Brad Dourif's next.
As long as he's not busy, he'll come on.
Yeah. Maga says, I hung out with Gene Simmons on the Crazy Nights tour at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. My buddy's aunt was a groupie. What year was that, Maga? I gotta know the year, because it puts me in the whole era where I can smell the smells, and I can kind of picture where you're at. There we go. Toronto said, Freddie says, Thriller Killer Kate, you made it short but sweet. I still give you credit, Toronto Freddie. I still give you credit. All right. Does anyone anyone else have any questions here for our guy Kyle Curtis? We've been on for close to an hour and a half. So
doesn't feel like it, but
I know it just flies by. I swear, every time I do a stream, I don't think it's that long, and then I actually get up from the computer when it's all done, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's dark outside now.
It's already that time already? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We got some more. Axel's voice gets annoying after a while. I really like Axel's voice, but I hear you. I ain't gonna be mad at that. There we go. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. I would love to guest star sometime. Hey, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. One thing I'm going to do, guys, because we did just unlock, membership and all that kind of fun stuff, is, if you end up getting on that third tier of membership, you can request a review. And I also want to open it up for, if somebody is in that tier and they request a review, if you want to collaborate on it, even if you just want to record a little thing where you sort of say what you love about the movie and why you picked it. I'm totally open to that. So even something like that, Toronto Freddie, or we can bring you on the show, whatever. I've also just started. I shot an interview yesterday with Ron Sloan from Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. And that's going to be part of a new series that's going to be kind of a branch off of Late Night. So it's going to be Late Night with the Davey Before Dark. And that's going to be pre-recorded interviews, because there's so many people I want to have on the show, and it's tougher to work out with their schedules. So anyways, that's enough commercials while I have Kyle Curtis here. And
just wait I feel like we're doing Late Night, and then we go to commercial for a second. We'll be right back.
I know, it's crazy. I gotta plug it. I have to remember, because sometimes I forget, right?
I'm only teasing you. It's all good.
You're good. Woman asks, is there a guest Kyle or Davey would like to interview? So is there somebody that you haven't reached out to yet, or who's your holy grail interview?
Ned Campbell would be one of them.
That's a good one.
I was this close of getting Quentin Tarantino on, and that's no joke. Wow. I was this close, but he was just too busy. Wow. Mike Flanagan is another one I'm still harding to get on, because I was going to interview him. I have to wait till his project is done. But then the hospital stuff happened. So hopefully someday again, because he passed on for now. But hopefully I can get him on when he's not busy or whatever. Yeah. Because he would be a dream director to talk to, because I think Mike Flanagan and everything he does just touch go for a lot of stuff. Laura Pike Lincoln is another one, who was Tina in Fright Night Part 7. If he didn't pass away in 2015, Wes Craven would have been another dream guest. If we wanted to interview the ones that are no longer with us, he would be a dream guest. Yeah, unfortunately, that's never going to happen. Unfortunately, Vincent Price would have been cool too. But if we're talking about the ones that are alive, I would say Ned Campbell would be one. Mike Flanagan. That would be so cool. And Brad Dwarf, of course. I know I answered that earlier. Bruce Campbell,
Yeah.
Robert England. Jeez, I could talk for hours with Robert. And Bruce Campbell would be cool too, but I know
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know Bruce doesn't do that much podcasting, so that'd probably be more harder to get. But that would be a good interview. But Kane Harder would be cool. Man, there's so many dream interviews that you know. Freddie Alvarez would be cool to talk to too. You know,
Freddie Alvarez would be really cool.
Sam
it would
Raimi,
be pretty cool.
You know,
yeah, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
So many good. Yeah, Joe Bob Briggs would be cool too. It would be fun, I think.
I would say if we're talking anyone ever, even people that have passed on, it would be George A. Romero for me. I would love to interview if we, you know, to match your Wes Craven. And then as far as people that are still kicking around, you know, that one's such a tough one. I might have to think about that one a little bit more. Actually, I mean, let's just be real. It would be amazing to have David Dastmalchian on Late Night with the Davey, right? Wouldn't that be too cool to have Jack Delroy on the show? And I think he's a fantastic performer. And I really, you know, something about the way that I've seen him in so many movies for seemingly like 15, 16, 17 years now. And he just like the slow burn of this like really impressive career to where now it's like, I want to see this guy in everything. So, and I also listened to a couple interviews with him and he seems like a really charming guy. So I'll go current, not much of a deep cut, but I think it would be fun to have Jack Delroy on Late Night with the Davey.
For sure. So,
and Big Rod says he's going to go tier 3 for Sleepaway Camp. Well, Big Rod, I've never seen Sleepaway Camp. So think about it. You could go tier 3 for that. Yeah. After these messages.
Oh yeah.
We'll
Daniel Harrison back. And Scout Taylor Compton would be cool too.
Oh, that would be really fun. Yeah, I wouldn't say no to that.
No. Yeah.
Big Rod would want to interview Savini. Antonis says too. Rob Zombie. Yeah. You already brought up, Joe Bob Briggs. Raimi would be delightful. Nicholas says there's 27 likes. That's awesome.
I think Nicolas Cage would be cool too.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. We're really in the middle of what I'm calling a Cage-assance. Yeah. And, you know, the last 7 years or so where he's just been, every movie that he's in is a little different, a little wild, a different flavor and all that kind of stuff. He's been able to showcase how good he is, you know?
Oh, there's so many things I could talk about. We could definitely talk about that with him. Jeez, there's a whole film stuff he's done, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, MAGA Cat says, well, if we're going there, Davey, Elvis Presley, if we're interviewing people that have passed away, I'll do you one better, MAGA. I'll interview an Elvis that's alive. Elvis Costello would be a great interview. I know I cover a lot of horror stuff here, but Elvis Costello is one of my favorite musicians ever. And I actually like Elvis Costello a lot more than I like Elvis Presley. I never got into Elvis Presley for whatever reason. I don't know.
Well, since we're talking, I'll throw in another one that's along with it. Dawn Pleasance would have been cool.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The Blackest Interview, the Devil's Interview. Yeah, Nicolas Cage was pretty creepy in Long Legs and just so good in everything he does. Yeah. Big Rod said I'd talk about Face Off and The Rock the whole time. I couldn't even make a horror with Nick Cage.
Oh, you know,
those are really good too.
You mentioned Face Off. John Woo would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say no to that. Would not say no to that. And you know, I usually think now I'm like thinking about bands and musicians that I would like to interview. So totally flying off the rails. How about and then even like final girls, like old school final girls, like Judy Aronson, who's in the Final Chapter. That's probably I know she's not a final girl, but probably my favorite gal of 80s horror right there.
For sure.
MAGA says I'm from Memphis and that's blasphemy. I'm so sorry, MAGA. I'm so sorry. I also am not a big fan of Bruce Springsteen, so just crucify me while you can. It doesn't take anything away from his great career. It's just I'm just one guy that doesn't enjoy the music very much. A fun band everyone should check out is Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. I agree. I think Me First. Have you heard of Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, Kyle Curtis?
I heard of them, just never listened to them yet.
So it's a group of punk rockers that are all from different bands. And when they
Okay.
get together as Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, they only do cover songs. So every album they put out, they do one that's like songs from the 60s. And they just do, but they do them in a punk rock way. And they have an album that's like country hits, and they've done so many records. They're really fun. I love Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Cool.
Hitchcock would be amazing to interview.
Oh,
Yeah, Nicholas brings up a good one. Oh, there we go. Big Rod talking about me for yep. And Tyler. Guys, I'm just all over the place here. Tyler says, yeah, any other questions for Kyle Curtis here? We've been keeping him on for a while, but if you guys don't have any other questions, then I guess we could sort of wrap things up here. What do you have coming up on the channel? You have Damian Rugna on Monday. Is it Monday?
Yeah. On Monday, I know on the 24th, I'm bringing on Analyzing Horror of Lauren. For our favorite, we're going to discuss our favorite werewolf films and vampire films on that stream.
Oh, yeah.
So, and there's other amazing stuff that I'm still working out that we'll announce very, very soon, folks. Once we figure out the time and dates and what subject matter we're talking about, they'll be announced soon. So subscribe to see what, if you're not subscribed to see what I'm going to be doing next. So.
Hell yeah. And hop on over to the channel to set the notification for the Damian Rugna interview. That's live and you don't want to miss it. Even if you're at work, you can just put it on and listen to it. It'll be great. And then, of course, if you're not subbed over there, there's a link in the description below. You can go ahead and sub there. And you can also follow Kyle Curtis on Instagram as well. There's a link in there. And Big Rod's got another question for you. He says, what's Kyle's prized piece from that media shelf? The one right behind you.
So what's a prized piece that's just like the holy grail on this thing?
Yeah, like the one that, like, if you had to, like, house is burning down and you have to grab one, what are you grabbing?
Jesus. So it would either be that Evil Dead collection or this Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Because that's a hard thing to begin with.
Yeah, is that the big box? Is that the like the boutique label box that just came out recently?
I think this has been out for a long time. So this is one of the rare ones that comes with the fiasco, the extended edition, the international edition,
nice,
whatever else edition. But this one's hard to find because it's so rare now. So
hell yeah, there you go. That's a good answer. That's what I'm thinking. Like when I look back there, I'm like either the Evil Dead or the Dawn of the Dead, right? Whatever one's easiest to grab when you're running out of the house.
For sure. But I would just try to grab my whole horror section in general. But
there you go. Just pick up the whole shelf. You know what would be really funny if you tried to pick up the whole shelf, it would fall on you, and then you would, of course, be like,
I know that's why I thought that's why. I'll just throw all these Blu-rays into a bag and wherever you can put it in.
A big old like pillowcase, but you would be like Ash in Evil Dead with a bookcase all on top of you, right? It would be so fitting.
Yeah, it would be fitting since there's Evil Dead on this.
There it is. And Antonis says, what happened to Kyle's other YouTube channel? Did you have another YouTube channel at another time?
Yes, I used to be FLETT'S. I used to be FLETT'S House of Horror, FLETT'S, and Return to the Limit FLETT. But I was hacked, and a lot of my videos got taken down.
Oh no! All right, so that's what happened to Antonis. I need to be on the lookout for that.
This happened the same thing that happened to the Night Watch Zone. All his videos got taken down, so mine happened the same way. So
Toronto Freddy with the jokes in here too. All right, so yeah, Kyle Curtis. We've got Damian Rugna coming up over on FLETT'S Movies and Pop Culture 13. That'll be live Monday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Is that correct?
Yes, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. So.
All right. And then, yeah, guys, go check him out. Sub, follow, and yeah, let's get him to 550 tonight if we can. And another great channel here in the horror community to become a part of and become one of those foundational members. So I'm looking forward to that interview on Monday. I know, I'll be at work, but I'll be able to put it on in the background and, give it a listen while I'm plugging away at my job. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight, Kyle. It's been a blast chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you again, David, and I can't wait when we do our next collab, whenever that may be, on your channel, my channel. This would be a blast to do this again. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We'll get together on something really soon. Maybe we can put something together for the spooky season.
we definitely
That would be
could,
pretty
yeah.
cool. Yeah, let's chat about it and figure it out. And yeah, hope you have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you next time around.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right, take care, man.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Wow. What a fun show. This has been awesome. We're at like an hour 49. We still got 12 people hanging out with us here in the chat. It's been a big day and just a kind of a whirlwind of the last couple weeks, just like obsessively refreshing the screen and seeing how close we were to unlocking membership. So I'm really pumped that you guys not only are showing up, hanging out here, dropping those super chats, but a handful of you have joined as members, which is really incredible. It's just going to keep on getting better and growing from here. So I appreciate every single one of you, whether you guys are members, patrons, or you're spending your time here hanging out and contributing to our awesome community. So really appreciate you guys for that. And we're going to take it up a notch on subscriber appreciation. I'm going to get a sip of water because I am just parched, I tell you. One sec. Tyler says we're at 808. Boom. Yeah, we're just going, let's see if we can, like I said last week, the train kind of slowed down and I was like, we're not going to reach 1,000 by the end of August. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving up yet. I've got faith in you guys. I've got faith in what we're doing here at the channel. And I think that it's something we can knock out. I mean, it would be wild, but it's possible. It's only possible if you guys share the channel, even if you just share one video and maybe that person digs what they see and they decide to throw a sub, whatever. That's the way that we're going to get there. So, yeah. And Raymond says, I was going to suggest Haunted Hippie as a guest. Yeah. I got my sights set on a whole bunch of folks. And then, like I'd said, we're all booked throughout September. So every show is booked through September, which is awesome. And everyone, when I reach out, I sort of, I've got people on my mind. I don't know if they're going to say yes or no. And then if they're unavailable, then I've got other people that I want to reach out to. And some folks that are maybe a little, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to hold off for some people that maybe I don't have a little bit of a relationship with already. Some people that I've asked to be on the show, I've either done a collaboration with them before, or we kind of know who we are, at least through socials. So it makes there's a bit of a warmth there. And so for some of these other guests that I don't know as well, I want to, take a little time to cultivate that relationship before just jumping in and being like, hey, you want to be on my show? Definitely, want to be cautious about, first off, not coming across as some sort of clout chaser or anything like that. And then also, I want the show to sort of speak for itself. And if they can go and check it out, then they can see like, oh, this is something that I'd be into or not. And I would never take anything personally if someone didn't want to come on the show. It's, it's fine. For some people, it's not, exactly their cup of tea, but we're going to continue to shoot for the stars when it comes to our guests here. And yeah, I'd love to have Haunted Hippie on there as well. Yeah, she is the real deal. I really dig her channel. And yeah, we got to get her on, guys. Got to make it happen. Well, I mean, she might not. Yeah, I don't even know, Antonis. I don't know how most of the people feel politically on YouTube because I don't really dig too much into that stuff. I figure if it ends up coming up naturally, then that's cool. But I like to focus on like the commonalities, the things that we that we do know that we love together. And to me, those things are more powerful than the differences and more important than the differences. And just like the way that we can have a civil conversation about our opinions on film and why we feel the way that we do about films, and we can disagree and all that stuff. Like, I feel like, at least like in my heart, I feel like when it comes to political stuff, I really try my best to be that way as well, because I could completely disagree with someone on a lot of their politics, but like we could still get along, right? I mean, why the heck not? And Big Rod says the fall is upon us. The masses start searching spooky stuff. Keep them likes and subscribes coming. Tell a friend. Absolutely. We're getting there, Big Rod, where, you know, it may be at 118 here in Phoenix, but I know that in other parts of the country, you know, it's maybe starting to, in a couple weeks, it'll be raining a bit more. The leaves will start falling in the beginning of September, and there'll be a different smell in the air at night and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, I think spooky season is a great time to see if we can boost the channel. You know what? If we don't hit 1K by the end of August, no big deal, but we should shoot for the stars, see what happens from there, and take everything as it comes. I mean, really, that's all you can do. I would love to have Brad from Good Reel on here. When Brett came on and I had Dice Rollin and Brett on the show at the same time, that was the one episode where we had both guests on at the same time. And initially I tried to get Brad and Brett, and it just didn't work out for Brad's schedule. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the late night with the Davey before dark, because those are pre-recorded sessions. So maybe for some folks where it's a little bit tougher for them to do things that are later on in the evening, maybe I could find a time on the weekend or something to do a pre-recorded video and drop that as, you know, just an extension of what we do here on Late Night with the Davey. There you go, Raymond. If you feel it, chase it. Kylie from Haunted Hippie seems pretty chill. Yeah. Antonis Andriotis with the 199 super chat. Thank you so much, Antonis. You are awesome. He asks, can you bring on Wet Movie 1? I could certainly reach out. I saw Wet Movie 1 hanging out at H45. I had seen the channel on YouTube, but didn't sub to him until I think after that, just because I didn't know what the channel was. And when I saw him out there, I was like, oh, so this guy must be a horror guy. I see he does physical media and everything. Yeah, I could reach out. You know what, guys? I'm really sort of like down for whatever. And also, if you want to see somebody on here and you want to reach out to them and be like, hey, get a hold of this Davey guy, feel free. Thank you so much for the super chat. Raymond says, I don't base my opinions on people on their political opinions. There you go. There you go. You got this, Davey. Thank you so much, Eli. Yeah, so there, oh my God, football season's coming, guys. I'm a friggin' football nut. I'm a nut. I'm going to have to bother Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews and be like, dude, can I be a part of your sports show? Like, I want to be on your football show because I'm such a giant football nerd. It would be so much damn fun. Aaron just shared the live stream on Facebook. Thank you so much. Before dark would be cool too. That's how the Ron Sloan interview is going to come out. I have a whole different background. Should I show you guys the background really quick? So here, check this out. How do I do this? So I'm going to take myself off the screen here and show you the background real quick. So once. There you go. You got to see it. Oh, there we go. We're back. So yeah, I picked like a dusk photo of Phoenix, and then I got the before dark there. And then of course the two little windows are going to be below that. So that gives you an idea of what that will look like, guys. So it'll still feel somewhat familiar. I still have the blazer on, you know, want to, you know, keep up with that as long as I can over here. So yeah, that's what it's looking like. Davey, have you been to Superstition Mountains? My wife has hiked them and been out there. I don't think I have, although admittedly, I kind of forget, like, there's mountains all around the valley, and I can't remember which ones are which. I might have climbed part of that or in that area. I'm not a big like mountain climber, but I will go on hikes in areas. There you go, Aaron. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Bill's Mafia there with Raymond Malaber. Whoo, your boys got to get it done, Raymond. Get in the big game. Make it happen. Antona says, Davey, what other horror cons have you been to besides H45? I've been to Mad Monster last year. I went to Gathering of the Ghouls last year, as well as Christmas to Dismember in 2023. And then this year I went to Days of the Dead. So those are all the horror cons I've been to. And I worked with the Wizard World Comic Con for a little bit as well. So I've been to, you know, a couple handfuls. Tyler says, looking forward to the next Crypt video and live. You saving episode 2 for Christmas, though? I am saving episode 2 for Christmas. And I've got the guys from Twisted Locker out there in Wales. We got hopped on a call and we actually recorded a couple episodes. So one of them is going to be the next one, which is Dig That Cat, He's Real Gone, starring Joey Pants, Joe Pantoliano, directed by Richard Donner from Lethal Weapon, Goonies, Superman 1 and 2, pretty much 2. But yeah, that was really fun shooting that with them. I'm going to jump into editing that one when I hop off here. I want to put that one out tomorrow, but guys, it might have to wait until Friday. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I'm going to be putting something together. I'm going to try to do like one review by myself, one review with a collaborator, and just sort of bounce back and forth, and we'll just see how it goes. But I love that idea of just bringing other people in. And, you know, if I did 93 videos and they're all just me talking about the episodes, I think that would get kind of stale. So it's a really cool opportunity to collaborate and make the review series a bit more interesting. I have not seen Brad Dourif at a con. Maybe I missed him, but I don't think he's been at one of the ones I've been to, at least not the same day. This year, if Josh doesn't get hurt, yeah, who's going to catch the passes from Josh? Joey Pants. Can't watch the live stream watch-alongs, but the reviews I'm in. Yeah, whatever you can show up for, we always appreciate it, Raymond. And I think what we're going to do, to go back to Tyler's question here on the live. So I shot the video with the Twisted Locker guys, and then we're going to arrange a time. They're out, you know, being out in Wales, they're 8 hours ahead of me. And so we're going to arrange a time where we can all get on though and watch that one together. So it'll probably be on a weekend in the early afternoon or something like that. So yeah, guys, that'll be super fun. If you guys don't subscribe over there, I recommend giving their channel a shout. Dude who loves movies. We got Cody in the house. Late night with the Davey. $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Cody. Really appreciate it. He says, what's up, everyone? Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Absolutely don't forget to do it. And it's funny because Cody, Tyler was just asking about that episode 2 of Tales from the Crypt, saving it for Christmas. And Cody, I know that you had mentioned that that was one of your favorites. Maybe you and I could put together a little Christmas special. Just let me know. I think it could be great. We could even shoot it like whenever and just have it in the can, right? We'll put on our Santa hats and drink some hot cocoa and no one will know. Nicholas, I know who Angry Joe is. I don't watch. I might have watched a couple of those reviews and just thought it was like, okay, you know, not everything really vibes with me. I like some, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a bit too polished for me. I don't know. I even like unsubbed from Joe Blow. Because for a while I really liked their videos, and then I was like, man, everyone on this channel has kind of a weird voice. They pronounce words in a very odd way. It almost seems like they're trying to like do that on purpose. I felt like a lot of times they just like weren't saying anything like that interesting about the movie they were covering, like stuff that you just, if you watched the commentary for the movie, you would know all these things. And so I bailed on him. I know you're not asking about Joe Blow, but Angry Joe, maybe think of Joe Blow. Facci says, Davey, question, do you have any Italian in you? Would you want to? I don't think I do, Facci. I'm mostly Irish, English, Cherokee, and something else. You know, I'm just a white mutt. What can I say? Eli says anything with Davey and Cody would be killer. And speaking of Eli, I want to get to this before it gets too late because I can't go on all night. I know you guys would love it and I would love it too, but real life is existing around us right now. And at some point I got to jump back in. Facci is Italian. Yes, that is the joke he's trying to make, that he wants to get to know me intimately, Antonis. Joe Blow is just a channel on YouTube. It's like a network. It's not true. Oh, so Raymond, you can watch them. They're all on YouTube. And if you can't find the episode on YouTube, you can find it on Daily Motion. Like if you jump into so if you go to the live tab and you check out that first watch party we did for The Man Who Was Death, the very first episode, in the description below, you'll see a link to watch it on YouTube. So you can just pull up another window and yeah, you can jump on in with us. Absolutely. I can't watch campaign. There are a whole bunch of like bigger YouTubers that, no offense to them, it's not that there's no like sour grapes or anything. I do watch some people that are, you know, relatively big, like kind of in our world. I just sort of stick to, like, I don't do the general, like, I don't watch like Jeremy Johns or, you know, stuff like that really. Like I stick with the guys that I trust, the people that I trust, and don't really go for the people that, where it looks like it's an actual television show or something. Yeah, man, it's awesome. I didn't even know. The guys from Twisted Locker told me they were on YouTube. So I was Sunday years old this last Sunday when I found that out for the very first time. So guys, I wanted to show this off to you before it gets too late. Eli Cortez, our amazing subscriber, hanging out over there in the chat, who you guys remember sent a box a couple weeks ago, and it had a Halloween End steelbook in it. It had the first 4 seasons of Tales from the Crypt. Sky Sharks was in there. There was a whole bunch of really fun stuff in there. A little coloring book, some stickers. Well, yesterday I got another package from Eli, and I wanted to show everything off to you guys here, just so you can, you know, see this amazing generosity from one of your own. It's incredible. It's one thing that I just never really expected. You know, like watching other YouTubers open up mail and stuff always seems so cool. And I'm like, man, that probably takes so long to like work up to that. And to have Eli, like at the point that where we're at here in the channel, to have Eli be so generous and so giving is just, you know, incredibly moving and inspiring. And again, like I say all the time, you guys fuel what goes on here at the channel. And, you know, these gift packages from Eli are just, you know, giant fuel dumps that are just like really pushing me here. So I love it. I love it. Yeah. Let's see here. To be honest, not to be mean, I can't watch Adam Does Movies. I don't even know who Adam Does Movies is. Antonis, no, I haven't, and I'm thankful I haven't. I'm not into that kind of stuff. All right, so yeah, let's celebrate Eli here. I'll start with should I start with the big stuff, Eli, like the really, really cool stuff, or should I start with some of the more fun, should I start at like the corny end and work up to the really cool shit? I don't know. What should I do? I guess you know what I'll do is I'll start with showing off the really, really the stuff that just blew my mind. So Eli sent me 4 steel books here. 4 steel books. This is absolutely incredible, guys. So this one, Demons 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. These are all wrapped too, which is incredible. Eli, you got to tell me, do you end up purchasing the movie and then you don't open it until you're ready to watch it, and then like a new version comes out and you buy the new version, so then you just have something like this hanging out, just waiting to be gifted? I'm curious to know. Yeah, guys, but it includes, you know, the both Demons 1 and 2 here. I've never seen these movies. A lot of these I've never seen, so this is going to be really cool to check these out. Yeah, just to start things off here, Demons 1 and 2, which I've been seeing all over YouTube lately, people talking about these movies, so I'm really excited to take a look at them. And then we've got the original Piranha Steelbook. This is one I've not seen since I was like a kid. I rented these, the first 2 Piranha. The second one's so ridiculous where they're like flying. I think it's called like The Spawning or something like that is one of the subtitles of it. But yeah, the original Piranha here on Steelbook. Really, really cool. It's going to be awesome to check this out because again, I was probably like 8 years old, 9 years old or something like that when I rented this from the movie store and watched it, and I haven't seen it since. And I have not seen the newer Piranha movies, and I heard the first of the newer ones were really, really good, or was really good. I heard the second one's okay. It's okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Big Rod, it can get crazy in here sometimes, huh? Eli's Hall of Horrors. I love it. I love it. Love the wordplay there. Really dig it. I still need to see that one, Antonis. Yeah. Yeah. Nicholas, you got to get with it. See where it all started, you know? And I need another drink of water because, whew. And then coming up next, this is a film that I have seen that I really love. Oh, and I'm smacking the steelbook all over the place. I can't wait to show this to Kate for the first time because I think this is a really underrated movie that's really, really damn good. And we're talking about Pumpkinhead. Oh, yeah. I love Pumpkinhead because this is a movie that could have just been some like alien monster movie or there's just a monster because. But I really love the idea that Pumpkinhead is sort of like a curse that you put upon someone. Very almost like Stephen King kind of way of telling a story. And I believe Stan Winston directed this film. And of course, you know, the puppetry and special effects are amazing. This one's got Lance Henriksen. I mean, guys, let me know what you think of Pumpkinhead out there in the chat and in the comments below if you're watching this after the fact. I adore this movie and I can't wait to watch it with Kate here this spooky season. To me, this is like a once a year watch it in October movie. Absolutely. And then coming up next, this one really floored me. You know, a movie from a franchise that's near and dear, my favorite slasher franchise of all time. And this one is a limited edition steelbook of Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2 from 1981. Is that right? I think so. And look, you got the firewalk on the cover of the steelbook, just absolutely gorgeous. And this one comes with that cut that is, you know, it has the Halloween 2 TV cut. So it's got, you know, scenes, extra scenes in here. And I think those are in standard def. I don't think they were able to upgrade. I don't know if they have yet, if they found out some way to do that and make them widescreen and everything. But I've never seen that version of the film. And I can't wait to check this one out. So this is one that I could just pop in at any time. I might pop this in tonight while I'm editing. I guess we'll just see what happens, right? Antona says, hell yeah, I've only seen the first Pumpkinhead. I've only seen the first one as well. Are the sequels any good? Guys that have seen them, guys and gals that have seen them, let me know. Big Rod said I wore a Pumpkinhead VHS out. Hell yeah, Big Rod. Raymond says, I think I saw the OG Piranha, but I can't remember it. I can't remember it either. I'll have to check out the steelbook here. Tyler says Pumpkinhead is a blast. Those teens fucked up. Yeah. And the one guy takes it really dark with his friends too, where he's basically like, I don't trust you guys to, like, you guys are going to rat me out. And it is nice to see him get his comeuppance there. Raymond says, I like the first Pumpkinhead. The second one is not as good. Yeah, that seems to be pretty normal, huh? Nicholas says, I love the steelbook of Halloween 2. It is so nice. Yeah, let's take another look at that. How about it, guys? Try to not get so much reflection there. Beautiful. Just looks beautiful. Yeah, the art is really cool. Absolutely. And Big Rod says, shout out to anyone who remembers the Sleepy Hollow with Jeff Goldblum. Jamie probably saw it in the theater. Yeah, I've never even heard of that. I got to check that out. And then, guys, we've got some Blu-rays here, some really fun stuff. You know, this one is a classic from, I believe this one is from 94. Oh, 92. You know, this is a Francis Ford Coppola film. You've got Anthony Hopkins. You've got the great Gary Oldman. We're talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it's all crinkly because it's still in the packaging. It's amazing. And yeah, you know, Keanu's performance here is pretty bad. Let's just be honest. It's pretty rough. But there's so much in this film that works so damn well. It's an absolute spectacle. It's a really cool telling of this story. And I think they do a really creative job, even though it's a, you know, in 92 trying to be more of a modern film, but also using some of the tricks from old-timey films to sort of blend those worlds and sort of make a bridge to that generation from, you know, the original Universal version of Dracula. And then next up, we've got VHS 94. I have never seen this one. I think I've seen the first two VHS movies, and I don't know. How many are there of the VHS series? I don't even know, guys. But I have not seen 94 yet. I do really like horror anthologies. You guys know that I like when stories don't waste your time. So sometimes I think with an anthology, it's kind of nice. You don't have to buy in too much. You can sort of, tune in, enjoy it, and be done with it, which I really dig. So gonna have to check that out. It says delightfully gruesome and deeply disturbing. And then we have this really cool documentary. This is called Memory: The Origins of Alien. And this is a DVD, I believe, a documentary about the making of the very first Alien film directed by Ridley Scott. And, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but the first film is my favorite in the franchise. I really like that haunted house in space kind of feel. Just the impending doom, the way the xenomorph looks, just everything about that first movie. Really dig the slow burn kind of feel it's got. So looking forward to checking out this documentary here and learning more about the film. And then we've got some real fun stuff, and this will be great. I mean, this will be a good double feature with one of the movies we got last time. This one's called Nightmare Shark. How many Nightmare Shark fans do we have out there in the chat and the comments watching after the fact? I had never heard of this film, and it basically sounds like it's trying to do a Nightmare on Elm Street, but also trying to do a shark movie, because it says a group of shark attack survivors who, having been plagued by shark-related nightmares, agree to take part in an experimental drug trial in a last-ditch attempt to make them stop. I think when they say make them stop, they mean make the nightmare stop. What seems like a solution becomes a whole new nightmare when they uncover the sinister plan to bring this nightmarish shark out of their dreams and into the real world. Oh yeah, this one's going to be really fun. Kate and I are going to have to watch Sky Sharks and watch this one. I don't know if we should like save it for next summer or have it be an end of the summer kind of thing. I don't know. Because with these movies, we want to at least be able to watch them once and then do a watch along with you guys and not have the watch along be the first time that we see the movie. That way, the watch along, I think the watch party would just be a little bit more fun that way. So that is the end of the movie section of the haul. And then Eli sent these really cool stickers. You got this like pack of Marlboros that says Netflix. I really dig that. That's hilarious. Pretty cheeky. People are addicted to their streaming services. We've got this really cool Friday the 13th sticker that's got, a little collage of, little, not like bits, not scenes, images from the films. I really dig that. We got this cool little, oceanside camper, a little tent out there. When I saw this, I was like, Kate, this sticker's for you. Eli sent this one for you. This is going to go on a water bottle because this is right up Kate's alley right there. Eli, thank you so much for that. And this one is Sweet X Texas Sweet Fruit. What does it say? World's sweetest. And I don't know, is this, maybe there's something, I know you're in Texas. Is this an actual Texas thing that just hasn't like reached the rest of the country here? What am I missing on this one, Eli? I'm curious to know. And then part of me is like, oh no, is this something from like Texas Chainsaw Massacre? And I just don't remember. Am I totally like losing street cred right in the middle of this stream? God, I hope not. All right, let's catch up with you guys here. Antona says it's all CGI sharks now. Unfortunately. Yep. Nicholas says the first VHS is so good. Yeah, I liked the first two okay. Like I thought they were fine, right? Yeah. Love this movie, but Bram's work always feels dated to me. Talking about Dracula. Yeah, I mean, it is a different kind of story. We've sort of moved on. It is cool to see. I remember that film being a big deal when it came out in 92. I was 10 years old when it came out. So let's see here what else you guys are saying. Big Rod says the original Alien was a legit horror. I don't care what other people say. Oh, it's amazing. The first two films are really great. I enjoy a lot of what Prometheus has to offer, but it's far from perfect, for sure. Yeah, Aaron says, dang, Davey, you got spoiled. I absolutely did. It is, guys, getting something like this and having it be like the second time that Eli sent, just like, again, just the generosity is overwhelming, but it's also really humbling. And, it's, to me, it's just an honor to be able to hang out with you guys and be pals with you. And then for you guys to share, you know, your collection, to let a piece of your collection go and become a part of mine, is just really special and really awesome. Thank you so much, Eli. Love it, man. Love you, man. How about that? Raymond says, I think there are 5 or 6 VHS movies with the new one coming to Shudder in the fall. Yeah, they just keep on making them. Yep. Get out of my dreams. Into my heart. Right? Aliens is horror to me. Oh, absolutely. I think the first two. Yeah. And Cody says, oh man, I'm totally down for Davey and the Dude's spooky holiday special. Hell yeah, man. Let's put something together. That would be great. The first Alien movie is phenomenal, and I love the practical kill with the baby alien coming out of the guy's stomach. Yeah. Oh yeah. Coming out of what's his face? Why is his name slipping right now? From 1984. Gosh, you guys, sometimes you go on a stream and you just lose massively famous actor's name. I feel terrible now. I feel terrible. You guys will let me know in the chat. Not sure, to be honest, on the sticker, bud. Yeah, it must just be something like I just figured, oh, he's from Texas, so this is just like an old-timey, like, vintage sticker. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Eli. Tyler says it's still survival horror. It ain't no action war movie like people try to say. It's more kinetic at times, but it's really character driven and quiet and tension filled. Yeah, Aliens definitely has those bigger action moments, but it does still have an element of slow burn for sure. Eli the legend and Davey did not let a gift go to waste. It's a good time to be into YouTube horror. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think it's really awesome to have Eli share that for sure. I would take Alien over Predator for sure. Davey, have you seen Scooby-Doo on Zombies Island? I've never seen that one. Never seen that one, but I watched the old TV show growing up. John Hurt, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you. Raymond says, I liked Alien Covenant more than Prometheus. I know, it's on my island. Yeah, I didn't like Covenant very much. I thought that it had the same problems that Prometheus had, and then it just wasn't as like deep and interesting to me. But I totally get why Prometheus wasn't a lot of people's cup of tea for sure. I just, those last two, the movies that Scott did last, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, both had these people that are like space traveling scientists that do really dumb things, like take their helmets off on foreign planets. It's really bizarre. Raymond, my island of movies everybody hates, but I think there are people out there that really do dig Covenant. I certainly think that most people feel more favorable about Covenant than they do about Prometheus, for sure. All right, guys, we'll probably go just a few more minutes here. 29 likes, says Nicholas McMath. Really appreciate the update there. Yeah, we've got 13 people hanging out on the stream. Thank you guys so much for spending this time with me. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, so I think it's time to get on. And there it is. Eli says, gotta go. Great stream, bud. Everyone, have a great night. Really appreciate it, Eli. You made a very happy Davey last night, and I'm very happy Davey for hours of entertainment that you sent this way. Look at that stat, guys. That is absolutely incredible. 4 steelbooks, 2 Blu-rays, and 2 DVDs, and a handful of stickers. Man, it's not a competition, but if there were a competition for best subscriber, I'm just saying that Eli's winning so far, but I love you guys all the same, and it's not a competition, but if it were, Eli would win. All right, guys, you have been so awesome tonight. I'm going to get going as well with Eli. I'm going to take a cue from the man that made the night happen. At least part of it happen in a certain regard. I really want to thank everyone who, has been a Patreon member for the last couple months here. We've got Antonis, Medley Man, Andrew Stevens, Trisha McMasters, and Gavin, Mr. Mud Nelson. And of course, I want to thank all of the new YouTube channel members. We got Big Rod, Cody Snyder, Twisted Locker, Happy Sanjo. Did I miss somebody else? My dad, Michael A. Conway. I hope I didn't miss anybody else that became a YouTube member tonight. And thank you guys so much for the super chats, hanging out with Kyle Curtis and I. Next week on Late Night with the Davey, we have Garrett from Born to Be Rad. I am so pumped to have Garrett on. Man, then after that, it's going to be Killjoy Jake. And then after that, we got Cody Leach coming on. So that's going to be the anniversary of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So that should be a super fun episode there. That's what we got coming up here. And of course, Tales from the Crypt review. Kate and I are planning a movie date with Davey and Kate watch party for this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. And we're going to watch Scream with you guys. Oh, yeah, it's happening. We're starting the Scream franchise. Get ready for it, y'all. It's going to be wild. It's Kate's favorite slasher series, and I'm really pumped for us to share those moments with you, talk about some trivia, our favorite moments, and just get another hangout on the weekend. Hell yeah. And yeah, maybe next time we'll have another great Eli's Hall of Horrors as well. Thank you so much, Ashton. Really appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your night. Really appreciate that, Raymond. Yeah, it felt like it took a while there towards the end, but then right at the end, it sort of came quick. The last couple hundred hours that I had to rack up for the last metric just really kind of flew by. So that's all thanks to you guys for coming and hanging out, sharing it. And, if you miss a stream, you guys are really good about watching the replay. So really appreciate you all for that. Shout out to Scream, my goat. There you go, Big Rod. So we'll see you there. Hell yeah. You guys are too sweet. Look at this. It's amazing. You guys have been so awesome tonight. That's going to do it for me. Oh my gosh. I almost forgot to plug one more thing though, guys. Well, I still have 9 people in the chat. Movie Punks, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're celebrating Foz Rotten's birthday. And we are going to be talking about Airheads, the 1994 classic comedy starring Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, and so many others. What a fun film. Check it out and jump into the chat on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hang out with myself and Foz for yet another episode of Movie Punks. All right, guys. Really appreciate you. Check out the membership if you're curious. You can look at what each one of the tiers offers. And yeah, it can only grow from here. I think we're going to have a great time. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next step is. Again, really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you on Friday and then later on in the weekend. And until then, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.